Hey, welcome back to the Crash Space. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. How's everyone doing? It's a Friday afternoon. It is what, the 9th of May, 2025. We're streaming a bit early today. Normally we stream at like 2:30 in the afternoon, but today is a proper morning stream. We have to do some traveling this weekend, so we're gonna be out for a bit, but this seems like a good time to do this and just get some regular Friday content up. I have been recording content, mind you. I'm working through a playthrough of Sinister Motives with Protection, what's her name, Magic, and it's been really, really fun. I got 2 games recorded. We have to edit those. Hopefully the first one will be out mid next week is my best hope. The second game against Venom is like, oh my God, is it long. I got bodied a couple times in a row. And like the final fight is like an hour and a half. So figure out what to do with that, but it's a really, really exciting, tense battle. We get some really close moments. Now, today we're doing something totally different. I was kind of like worried about what to put together because I was really enjoying one of the decks, but I'm using it for a playthrough video. So we're going to try something entirely different. And we are playing Domino versus Kang. I've only played Kang once. And Kang was one of the, I guess the second, actually technically third standalone scenario with Kang the Conqueror, who is this time traveling person. And there's actually a whole bunch of different Kangs. And once you jump to Act 2, I think randomly you get one of the Kangs. And there's a whole bunch of them. In theory, this is meant to be a scenario that's most interesting when you play multiplayer because you actually kind of break out into individual games and people go to different Kang timelines. And so you can no longer cooperate with one another because you're not playing the same game anymore. One person is fighting this Kang in this timeline, one person's fighting another Kang. And I was told to play this multiplayer, and the only time I played Kang was with my partner. We did the team up, the classic team up of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and had a great time, a really, really, really fun time. But that was years ago, and since then I haven't replayed Kang, let alone ever played solo Kang. So I think we're gonna take a shot. I've heard that Kang is still good, even if you play solo, as much as a bunch of the like mechanics of setting up your own game are gonna be lost on us because we are inherently in our own game. So that's Kang. We're going to start on standard Kang because I've not played it and then kick it up to expert. We'll probably have time for 2 games today. We can't stream too long. But otherwise, let's talk about this Domino deck that we've put together. This is an aggression Domino. Domino is one of my favorite heroes. I feel like the last like couple waves of hero designs have just been like really, really appealing for me. And Domino is no different. Kind of like Magic to some extent, but it matters about the top card of your deck. It says when counting resources on cards discarded from the top of your deck, wilds count as twice, so double resources. And we have a whole bunch of wild cards. In fact, almost all the Domino cards are wild, so having those on the top of the deck gives you doubles, which is really quite nice. And as an action, we can swap a card from our hand with the top of the deck. So just the text on Limbo if you played Magic, and we can just set up these doubles on top of our deck consistently. That's really good, and Domino's all about like ripping off the top of your deck and getting lucky. That's kind of her mutant power. And so this is an aggression deck that is using some discard cards, mostly no quarter, which I'll explain that in a second. If you're not familiar with Domino's kit, Domino has a bunch of allies, so it's actually been a while since I played Domino too, so I'm going to be figuring it out. I used to play a heck of a lot of Domino. I think Domino is one of my favorite heroes for a while. And so we have Diamondback that you can exhaust to do AoE damage, right? Yeah, deal 1 damage to each enemy for each resource and discard it this way. And because that's not an attack, you don't take consequential damage, as cheap as Diamondback is. And then Outlaw, I think, does big damage, right? Toughness, when Outlaw attacks, discard the top card. Outlaw gets +1 for each resource discard that way. So you can consistently do 3 damage as long as you have a wild on top of your deck, which you're in control. That's pretty good. We have 2 copies of a good workout. We have a couple cards that work on the same sort of pattern. So it's just a 2 for 4, kind of just like Magic. But then the kicker here is we have to discard a card from the top of the deck. And for each resource icon, this potentially can be a 2 for 6, which is definitely a deal if you hit the wild icon. Similarly, we have right place, right time, which is this exact same thing before thwarting. This is 2 for 3, but then you discard the top and you get 1 additional for each icon on that card. So 2 for, what is it? 2 for 5, hopefully. It's like not terrible at all. Luck Be a Lady, this card is really fun. There's only 1 of them in the deck. You play this to discard the top card of your deck, and based off of the resources, you get to do these effects. If it's a wild, you get to choose, how often does it work? Discard the top card of your deck and count the resources. So a wild counts as 2 resources, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to check what Domino says, but these are all just very flexible effects. Healing 2 is totally fine. Removing 2 threat, dealing 3 damage, and then the fact with the wilds, you get a choice. This is one of the big cards, is Jackpot. You only have one of these and it has one of each icon. It is the rare triple resource card. And after this card is discarded, you shuffle it back into your deck. So our goal is to hit the Jackpot as many times as possible while we're setting up and cycling through the deck. And we have a bunch of control about setting up the top of the deck. Things like Pip the Pup and Painted Lady. Pip the Pug allow us to set up the top of the deck and set up our hand, which is great. We have 2 pistols. These are just like really straightforward. Once these get down, it feels very good because you can just exhaust these to deal 1 damage and discard the top card of your deck. So it's somewhere between 2 to 3 damage as a ping every turn. So that's like probably 6 damage every turn cycle if they're both set up. You have Lucky and Good. This is the discard, the encounter cancel, right? When a boost card is turn faced up, it's the boost card cancel. Exhausted cancels boost ability. Give the attacking enemy another boost card for this attack, which is fine. Not my favorite card. This is a bit better, I think. Lucky Break says, when you reveal an encounter card, don't reveal another encounter card. That can be quite useful, especially if you get the sort of like dark designs or the one that causes the villain to scheme, which in solo is a problem. And then finally, we have Probability Field, which this is our most important upgrade, I think. It says, whenever you use a basic power, discard the top card of your deck, you get +1 to that power for each of the resource icons, so that can be +2 easily if you hit a wild. Which means that Domino can block for 5 consistently, thwart for 3, and attack for 4, which is pretty dang good. And we'll try and get this on the table as soon as possible. And we have ways to search our deck for upgrades. Give me 1 second. Cool. Okay. All right. Other stuff. We are playing aggression cards, so we have a whole bunch of allies, arguably too many allies. We have 2 allies already in our base kit. We're playing Angela, who's really cheap, who hunts down minions, which is good fun. She comes in for 0, attacks for 2, but you have to get a minion. If it fails, it fails. We have Gold Balls, who's one of the discard-based aggression allies. So when Gold Balls attacks, we can discard up to 3 cards from our deck to get +X attack for each card discarded this way, not each resource. But that means Gold Balls can attack for 4, and we have a whole bunch of cards that fire off when we discard them from the top of the deck. So we're going to want to do that regardless. We have Psylocke, which I always play Psylocke in aggression. Two-Thwart is great. Confuse is fantastic. We have Richter, another discard aggression ally. After Richter attacks, discard the top card of your deck. Deal a damage to the minion for each resource icon. So this one actually does work with Domino's text. Then we have Prof X because, well, of course we do. It's Prof X. And then finally, we have White Fox, who is one of the fun payoffs for playing these sort of discard decks. Because if you ever discard White Fox from the top of your deck, you just get to play her. This is very similar to the sort of like gnome archetypes in Lord of the Rings. I call dwarfs gnomes. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that. I mean dwarfs, not gnomes. And this is the same sort of thing where they want to mine their whole deck and get cheap allies on the table, which is really, really quite fun. Then we're playing some aggression cards. Notably, our deck is 42 cards. We're slightly above deck size. And I do think there's a couple decks that actually want to be above deck size. And this arguably could be one of them. To see why that is, we're playing 3 copies of No Quarter. And while we don't build into No Quarter as well as we could in some iterations of this deck, No Quarter requires you to pay a physical icon, which I don't think should be a problem. But actually, we have no wild generators. Maybe that will be a problem. This is an attack that deals 4 damage to an enemy, and if you defeat that enemy, for every excess damage, you get ripped and discard cards from the top of your deck and add each aggression card added that way back to your hand. That's cool because it hits all our discard synergy cards. If they're discarded, we get some extra benefits. We have no way to really boost the damage on this, so like we have no way to get it overkill or to make it do additional excess damage, and there's a bunch of different build patterns that can make that work. Things like honed techniques, stuff like that. But the big thing about this deck is why I want to play maybe over 40 cards is because the only way to put more aggression cards in your deck is to go over deck size. Because no matter what, you're stuck with 15 hero cards. And so if you make 25 aggression cards, that's one thing. But in theory, every aggression card you add acts after that, and you have a higher chance of finding aggression cards. That's the only way to make No Quarter more consistent is just to add more and more and more aggression cards. I don't think you should play a 50 card deck with No Quarter and only aggression cards. And for what it's worth, we're not playing that many aggression cards. But we also have other synergies we're discarding off the top of our deck. But that's kind of the idea. We're playing 42. Probably should pare this down to 40, 41. If we find out in testing it makes sense. Playing Chase Them Down. This is a bit of a situational card, but it's actually one of my favorite cards to get with No Quarter because you can always play it. And technically you can always play the response because this is now in your hand after you've defeated an enemy. So just 2 threat is maybe a thing that we really value. Domino only has 1 thwart. So like getting 2 extra cheap threat when we defeat a minion is quite nice. Next, we're playing Lock and Load, just a cheap aggression little side scheme to go ahead and go get, oh, I guess this is a side scheme, huh? To go ahead and get one of our guns, which are quite nice. And our guns will help us to consistently chip something down so we can finish it off with No Quarter, which is good. We're also playing 1 copy of Superpower Training. This is the one that gets upgrades if I've done my job right. Yeah, and we definitely want to get the upgrade that causes our skills to increase for cards that we mill. This is the big one. Why One of the big payoff pieces for playing discard is Digging Deep. You can play 3 copies of this. It's a wild that only generates 1 resource, but after this card is discarded from the top of your deck, you add it to your hand, which is an auto include in Domino. It works well with no quarter and just causes us to discard and push ourselves forward and give us a resource. For what it's worth, Domino's kit is one of those weird hero kits that has no resource generators. So this is one of the easy ways you can get extra resources into your deck. And we're actually playing a fair few resources. And we actually do like these double resources like Strength, Genius, and of course Energy, because when they're discarded from the top of the deck, that's discarding 2 resources, which means all of Domino's activations generally get more powerful. Finally, we're playing 2 copies of the Power of Aggression. I think we have enough cards in Aggression that actually cost 2 or plus. I think generally you need about 8 to 9 2+ cost cards to feel good about the Power of Aggression that generates double for aggression cards. But also because this card has a wild icon, it doesn't feel that bad at all in just to play naturally in Domino. Bootcamp. I think out of all cards that people say are staples, this is the one card that is the most staple, but I've played the least. People love Bootcamp. I've seen it in so many decks, and I've never played Bootcamp. I think a big thing is I play solo, and Aggression Allies is not like, it doesn't seem like a reasonable thing to do in solo Marvel Champions. But in theory, if this comes down, all our allies get +1 attack, which like that's obviously not bad. 3 cost is pretty expensive, but I just simply have never played this card, which for some people might be weird because this is a lot of people's favorite card. Speaking of weird cards I've never played, this card always gets cut from my deck for being the 41st card, and it probably will get cut from this deck eventually. It's a 1 per player support that says after an ally attacks and defeats a minion, exhaust War Room, remove 1 threat. Immediately there's some anti-synergy here because we want to defeat minions with no quarter, and chase them down says after your hero attacks and defeats an enemy. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just get rid of this War Room, and we'll just still never play it, and we'll never know what it does, but it's probably not this deck. I think we want to defeat minions. Weapon X, really cool card. Any card that discards from the top of your deck is worth considering. This is an alter ego action to take a damage and just rip cards from the top of your deck until you discard an identity specific card. That means if we rip through our Digging Deeps, we draw them. If we rip through White Fox, we get her onto the table. And also allows us to do some weird setup stuff when we flip up, because we can, I think, add a card in alter ego from our discard pile to the top of the deck or the hand. We'll figure it out. It's really good. 1 depth focus because almost all of the events and some of the upgrades are superpowers. We're playing the other art. And then one of my favorite cards in the deck, which I always go, is Sharpshooter, which says when you make a ranged attack, and both of our pistols are always ranged, you can discard the top card of your deck and it deals an additional damage for each resource icon discarded this way, and that doubles up with Domino. So your guns can do up to like 6 damage per shot if you get really lucky, if I'm not mistaken. Yo, Nelson, hello peeps. Nice to catch a live stream and be like playing MC vicariously. Hopefully you're doing well. Glad you can make it. We're streaming at a weird time, which like if you're, I guess, have notifications on the YouTube channel. Normally we stream a bit later. Glad you can make it. Hey BMK, hope the day's going good. It's going well. It's going well. War Room showed up to say hi, Meteor. That's like exactly what happens. It shows up, I think about it, then I just remove it from the deck because I realize when I draw it, I never play it, and then I think about it a bit too much. But it's like a card I definitely want to play. We're just obviously not. All right, that's Domino. I guess we didn't look at Nina. Nina has some cool setup text. Again, reminds me a lot of other cards like Magic and other interesting setup and planning kind of heroes. Nina has 9 hit points again, so does Domino, 3 recovery. Action, you can choose a card in your hand and swap the card with the top of your deck. Sorry, wow. Choose a card in your hand, swap that card with the top card of your discard pile. For what it's worth, I don't like this text because this is one of the reasons why you can't shuffle your discard pile in Marvel Champions. A lot of card games, you're allowed to just reorder your discard pile so you can look what's in it, set things on top. And this is one of the decks where you're not allowed to. Technically in the rules, you're just not allowed to shuffle your discard pile at all, but there's very few cards that interact with that. For what it's worth, in Android Netrunner, for the first like 4 or 5 years of the game, you were not allowed to shuffle your discard pile. And there was only 1 card in the game that interacted with that mechanic, and it was like a draft card. Eventually, I think FFG, I'm not sure NSG, I think FFG canceled that rule because it's just like tedious. And if someone shuffles their discard pile, like how do you fix that game loss? Like, I don't know. But technically in in Marvel Champions, you're not allowed to shuffle your discard pile. And this is one of the few cards that cares about it. I think there's a couple other ones. Technically Iron Man in the core set, if you play Penny Potts, he cares about the order of the discard pile. And I found that to be a bit of a bummer, but it's fine. All right. Kang's Arrival. This is going to be like new to me. Oh, there's so many cards called Kang, so this is going to take me a while to figure this out. But I have not played against Kang in I think like 2 or 3 years, and I've only played it once. So a lot of this is going to be discovery on our own as well. So we're going to be playing on standard for now. Once we hopefully beat this, we'll jump it up to expert. And what I really like about this is that it actually has a different expert set. I don't think we've ever seen that, but it's not like the backside of the villains for some reason. It's actually like expert Kang. And I don't know why they do that, but that's kind of neat at least. So we're going to be playing with Kang 1, 2, and 3 on standard, which is kind of unusual. We have to defeat every single Kang. We're going to use the required modular set of standard, which we're doing standard 3 because I like that a lot better. And we're going to be using temporal. And temporal is a really fun encounter set because it includes ancient warriors. And I think there's just a Tyrannosaurus Rex in there. There's just a big ass dinosaur. So set each Kang 3 and Kang 3 and Kang 3. Is that Kang 2 and 3? Hold on, my monitor's too small. Let me get a better preview. Windowed projector. Yeah, that's better. 1 second. I realized the card's on the table and I could just read it there, but this seems easier. Okay, set each Kang 2 and 3 aside. Nailed it. Set aside all the Kang's Dominion side schemes. Fine. Remove each player's obligation card from the game. This is really weird. This is the one scenario where your obligation gets removed, and I'm not 100% sure why. I think it's so you don't find out yourself in a weird scenario where you're left alone and you can't deal with your obligation. That actually is interesting. I think the other day I found a card where you're playing against Sinister Motives, and there's an encounter card that says if you fail to find your what's it called? If you can fail to find your obligation, this thing just gets surged, and this is one of the big reasons you can fail to find it. Then we just shuffled the encounter deck, which I feel like, oh, I guess because you removed the card, that was a given. So I guess we'll just shuffle this up. This deck is relatively big. I feel like some of the earlier encounter sets have just like really big encounter decks. I feel like my favorite current era of Marvel Champions is like Sinister Motives to Mutant Boxes, and they have like relatively thin decks, which means they're more consistent and they're better at delivering the same problems. And you can kind of predict what they are. But this deck is like huge. And so understanding like what single card is going to come up feels a bit kind of less consistent. For what it's worth, there is a bunch of minions here. We're going to do a pile shuffle here, but there are actually a fair bit of small minions. Yeah, maybe there's like 8 to 10. So hopefully some of our like minion shtick will actually land. Game Loss Simulator. Yu-Gi-Oh had a card that makes this opponent call the bottom of their discard by memory. What? So you have to know the first card that you've discarded into your bin in Yu-Gi-Oh? That's super weird. And what happens if you don't? You just lose? I feel like that's another weird thing that comes to with memory that I don't want to see poisoned, but like heavily affected by the way that Netrunner cares about memory. Where Netrunner is a card game where you're allowed to have memory aids, you're allowed to take notes and all that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of other card games that say like memory's part of the game. If you're not good at memory, that sucks. And so there's a lot of weird like things and shows up in like Arkham Horror and even to some extent in Marvel Champions where it's like, I'll just look at it. If I forgot, I'll just check it again. Like, I don't think I want to stress about the memory part. The card swapped life points or something silly, but if you picked your deck up to look, it was a game loss. Oh, crap. Whoa. Great. I think people accidentally see the bottom card of their discard pile all the time when they shuffle. Kang having a bunch of unique variants is a great way to keep the scenario fresh and so it's on theme. That's why I think a lot of people like this. There's a whole bunch of different Kangs because Kang 2 has like, there's the Iron Lad Kang, there's the like Egyptian Kang, and I imagine people do appreciate that a lot. So we'll see how replayable this is because we're going to play it at least twice. Kang's Arrival, only 7. When the stage is completed, the players lose the game. That's a pretty low threshold, as much as Kang only schemes for 1. Kang believes that by defeating Earth's mightiest heroes, the rest of the planet will submit to his rule. When revealed, deal each player an encounter card. Okay. And this starts with no threat, which was something that was relatively common in the earlier days of Marvel Champions. Modernly, it usually starts with 1 or 2 threat, so that that heroes have something to do. That's mostly it. Let's look at Kang, the Conqueror. How did I write this? Oh my god, I have to cycle through all of these. Kang's the Conqueror 1. We're playing on standard. All right, Kang the Conqueror. Toughness, 12 health. Force Interrupt. When Kang attacks, you either place 1 threat on the main scheme or he gets +2 attack. That's very similar to the text on one of the earlier Green Goblins, if I'm not mistaken. When defeated, we advance the main scheme to stage 2 at the end of the phase. My guess is if we're metagaming this, we should probably hang out on Kang 1 for a moment and just set up, because Kang 1 doesn't seem that scary. This thing being at only 7 threat, that's a bit more scary, but I'm assuming we probably should just set up here and not just jump straight to advancing the stage. That's my guess. I think that's sometimes not interesting, but I think, 12 health is not a lot. Being attacked for maybe 2 or 4 is not bad. Scheming for 1 is not bad. So I do think we're going to set up just a bit, and I don't think we're going to just like push it at full speed. All right. Well, that's all we have to work with. Not a lot going on the table, just Kang and an encounter card waiting for us. Let's clear this mouse out of the way and give this a shot. This can go here, and we're off. Okay. Let's play Domino. First card, White Fox. Ah, such a bummer. This is the one that you want to discard off the top of your deck. Now, Nina's ability says that you can choose a card in your hand and a card in your discard pile. Where's the text? Choose a card in your hand, swap that card with the top card of your discard pile, which means we can actually swap White Fox from our discard pile to our hand. And then on Domino's side, you can swap a card from your hand to the top of your deck, which means we actually can force White Fox to enter play by swapping, and then having an effect that discards the top of the deck, which will become White Fox. So that doesn't mean that we'll hold on to White Fox because we want to discard White Fox. Actually, no, maybe it does, because Nina's text cares about the order of archives. Choose a card in your hand, swap that card with the top card of your discard pile. Okay, so we'll hold on to it. We might throw it out, but the short of the long is we need to discard this. And when you discard to your mulligan, you choose the order that you discard. So we can actually still discard this to the top. Digging Deep. Okay, another card we don't want to draw. Boot Camp. I'm assuming Boot Camp on turn 1 is reasonable. I just don't know if we can afford it. Strength. Okay, probably can afford it. Death Focus. We definitely want to keep that. And then Pip the Pug. Pip the Pug is also a super useful card. It's an alter ego action that allows you to put a Domino or Posse card from your discard pile on top of your deck. That includes Jackpot that you can just set up to put on top of your deck, and that's really, really powerful. So my guess here is that we want to discard... I don't think we want Pip the Pug here. We have a bit of confused, so we can hop down and actually do alter ego stuff, but I don't think we want Pip the Pug. My hands are really pink. I made the camera less red, but I think it's still slightly too red. So we'll discard these, and we'll make sure that we discard White Fox to the top. We could also like put Digging Deep on the top, but I think I'd rather have an ally in turn 1. So I'm going to discard it in this order and draw 3 more. So we have Richter, we have another Digging Deep, and we have a Good Workout. So I'm glad that we got the Good Workout because that means we actually can discard the top card of our deck. Cool. That's us. So, oops, excuse me. That should be this. All right. So what do we have here? We definitely need to play the Good Workout. The Good Workout is a superpower, so we can play Death Focus. And then we can play 1 card for a Good Workout. And this could be the start. We would attack first to get rid of the toughness. And this will do 4 plus 5 damage. And we get White Fox. That leaves us with this hand, which is kind of ugly. The other option, and unfortunately we should have planned this out better, we could have actually got the Digging Deep. And then when we discard the Digging Deep to the top of our deck, we would draw the Digging Deep. And then we actually can play Richter. That might be a bit better. And then we don't get White Fox. We get the Digging Deep instead as the extra resource. I think that's a bit better. So, because we haven't got any information, when we discard our mulligan, we're going to discard with Digging Deep on top. For that reason, we're going to use Nina's ability to choose a card in your hand, swap that card with the top card of your discard pile. Oh, wait, we don't. Yeah, this. Oh, but then we lose Richter. Wait, hold on. Then we lose Richter. So that's not actually that good because we have to trade the cards. Oh, because then we get a random card from the top of the deck. So there's a random card on the bed on the top of the deck. No. So I think we're actually going to just like do the White Fox thing instead. So choose a card in your hand. So we'll get rid of Richter and swap it with White Fox. That's all we can do here, really, that we need to do. Then we're going to flip up into Domino. Domino says choose a card in your hand, swap that card with the top card of your deck. So I'm going to swap White Fox with the top card of our deck. It's a Painted Lady. That's another good alter ego card. We will set up, but this won't do anything. This allows you to like store cards on it. Exhaust the Painted Lady, add a card attached to your hand, and responds after you discard a card from the top of your deck, which actually works in this mode as well. You can attach it here, and then you can grab the cards later. So I'm going to keep this face up when we know what it is, just to like keep with the memory. And then we'll play Boot Camp for Death Focus. This just generates a resource a turn for a superpower. Technically, we're using the other art. Domino will attack for 2, taking the toughness off Kang. Then here we might as well Digging Deep for the Painted Lady, but we're not going to use it, but that's fine. And then we'll just hold Strength for a Good Workout. So Good Workout says deal 4 damage to an enemy. So we'll do 4 damage to Kang. Then it says discard the top card of your deck. So we discard White Fox. White Fox has 1 resource on it. Deal 1 additional damage. So Kang takes 1 more. Notably, White Fox says when you discard it, you can just put her into play for free. So that's not bad at all. We will definitely use White Fox. I think we're just going to attack for 1 here. White Fox will be good for thwarting as well, but we don't really have anything to thwart right now. So we'll just attack for 1. Again, we don't have to rush down Kang, it doesn't seem. So that turn we did a lot of damage, actually. We did a fair bit of damage while setting up. Cool. We're not going to attach White Fox to the Painted Lady for obvious reasons. And that's it. Draw back up to 5. Right place, right time. That's our thwarting one. Hold on. Okay. We have a sharpshooter, which once we have our guns is quite good. We have our guns. That's quite nice as well. None of these, one of these is a superpower. We drew our digging deep. We never want to draw those. We want to discard those. And we drew a power of aggression, which doesn't line up well with this hand. Again, we can always swap a card with the top of our hand. Why is that happening? Hold on. I think I'm hitting 2 pedals at once. Yeah, I definitely am. So with Domino, we can swap the top card with our deck with the digging deep. So we get a random card and we discard this, which is a really consistent way to make sure that even if we draw the digging deeps, we get value. All right, Kang's Arrival goes to 1. Kang is going to activate Kang the Conqueror. So Kang is attacking for 2. When Kang attacks, you may either place 1 threat on the main scheme or gets +2 for this attack. So I don't think we mind the 1 threat on this scheme at all. So Kang is attacking for 2 in a card. I don't think we're going to block ourselves. We have 3 block, actually. We're surprisingly like a pretty good defense hero. So we could block. I think our activation here is only going to do 2 attack. So I don't mind blocking. I think we will block. The 2 in a card. Boost icon 1 on energy blast, so that's 3 damage. We take nothing. We get 2 encounter cards. First encounter card is Rampage. Comes in with 4 threat. When defeated, discard the cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engage with the player who defeated the scheme. So pretty straightforward. I believe there's a card that has exactly the same text but different numbers in Rise of Red Skull. And speak about little minions. This is an Ancient Warrior. 2 health only. Has quick strike, so it's going to attack for 2. It's an annoying little guy. So it's going to attack for 2. We can block with White Fox, but we're not going to, so I think we'll just take 2 damage. So we're down to 7. We don't have a lot of health, so we have to be a bit careful here. So we have our work cut out. If we clear the Rampage, we're going to get another minion. It could be as small as an Ancient Warrior. It could be as big as a dinosaur. We're definitely going to put the Digging Deep on top of our deck. The question is, when do we do it? Because right place, right time, we don't actually need to get more threat because this removes 3 threat. It'll always remove at least 4 threat. So if we want to clear Rampage, we don't actually have to deal with that. So we could Digging Deep right now or we can Digging Deep later. What can we actually play from our hand? We definitely want the Digging Deep. If we get a double from the top of our deck, then we're like really golden because we have a couple 2-cost cards and it's really hard to play this many 2-cost cards. So I think we'll just go ahead and flip. And if we don't need it, we can shoot the warrior. Oh, we don't need to shoot the warrior either. Yeah, I think we'll flip just to get more information. So we'll use Domino's ability to swap the top card of our deck with our hand. That's lucky and good. This is the one that cancels a boost card. Yeah, when a boost card is turned face up. Give me 1 second, just need to move a window. Okay, that's much better. Yeah, when a boost card's turned face up during an attack, you can cancel that and give a different boost. I don't know how bad the boosts are in this scenario, so I'm not really stressed about it. It is a 1-cost superpower, which is nice, but I don't think we're going to end up playing it. So on that note, we'll spend Death Focus and Lucky and Good, and we'll just play Right Place, Night Time. Remove 3 threat from a scheme, so we'll remove 3 from this. Discard the top card of your deck. For each resource icon discarded this way, remove an additional threat. So this has 1 wild, but Domino's text says that wilds count as 2 icons, so we technically clear 2 more from Rampage. Digging Deep also says when it's discarded from the top of your deck, it goes to your hand. So we actually get card advantage through this. And now Rampage finishes, and Rampage says that when this is finished, discard cards from the top of the deck until you get a minion. Ideally, we like minions. I don't know if we had to clear this right away, but let's see what we get. Macrobots. Okay. 2 attack, 4 health, has Retaliate 1 and Guard. So Guard means that we have to defeat this before we can defeat the minions, but attack the villain. These are Macrobots. Okay, that's 4 damage. So now that that's on the table, our guns do at least 2 damage. Sometimes they do 3. I don't think we can play our whole hand. We'll have to do some damage mitigation here. White Fox can block if we need to, but I think we'll be okay. We're not going to paint it related to Digging Deep for obvious reasons. So I think we just get the Domino's pistol this turn. If we shoot the pistol, we might get the 3rd Digging Deep, which wouldn't really help that much. But I think that's all we can play because this generates 1, 2 for the pistol. Domino has 2 of these. They're very quite good. And this says you can do an attack to exhaust this to deal damage to an enemy. Oh, this actually doesn't do damage on its own. So, this does less damage than I thought it does. So this will do 1 damage, sometimes 2 damage. If that's the case, it does have range, which is nice, so we don't have to deal with the Retaliator Macrobots. But I think that means we're just going to use Domino's Pistol to shoot Ancient Warrior. So deal 1 damage to enemy for each resource and discard it. Let's get a wild. We do get a wild, so that does 1-shot the Ancient Warrior. Now here we can use the Painted Lady, because we've discarded from the top of the deck. So it says after you discard a card from your deck, you can attach it here. And when you're an alter ego, you can exhaust it to add 1 card. This is outlaw. I think we'll just attach it here. We don't have to exhaust to do that. Yeah, we'll attach the outlaw there. All right, White Fox against the Macrobot's not fantastic because it has retaliate, so White Fox will be defeated. So we're just gonna take 1 off of this. Do we flip alter ego? That means Kang will put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could lose. If we get a 3 boost, this will go to 2. Then Kang will do 3, 4, 5, 6, and Macrobots will go 7. So we can't safely flip up. Are we gonna hold on to Sharpshooter and just pass? 1, 2, 3. Gold balls. Chase them down is really good if we can defeat the Macrobots. No quarter means we can defeat the Macrobots. Should be okay. Yeah, that's fine. Again, I think we're missing our resource generators. Maybe we should have 1 permanent resource generator. Maybe not just depth focus is enough. Again, hitting the digging deeps is pretty good, but we have nothing in our hand that we can really dunk on top of the deck we feel good about. I guess Lucky Break is fine. This goes to 2. Kang the Conqueror is attacking. Kang says we can either give +2 attack or put 1 threat in this game. I think if Kang attacks for 4, we'll just chump block with White Fox, and then we can just take 2 damage from Macrobots, and then Domino will be ready. That means Domino can attack this, or we probably just do Domino's pistol into no quarter and hope for the best. But I think we will chump block here. So Kang is going to attack for 4 in a card. Boost is 2. It's on depowered, so 6 damage, defeating White Fox. Now Macrobots just attacks for 2. We're just going to take it. So we're down to 5. Single encounter card. Pin down. Okay, we've seen some side schemes already. When revealed, place 2 threat here for each obligation in play. Oh, interesting. Oh, pin down is the scheme also, sorry. So that comes in with only 2 threat, but it has a crisis icon, which means we cannot clear threat from the main scheme. So that's fine. Chase them down. Is chase them down only the main scheme? No, a scheme. Okay, so that's pretty good that we actually can do either. There's a lot of obligations in the set for sure that like do really obnoxious things to you and your allies. It's a really cool theme that Kang like sows dissent. Okay, so it's back to us. We're ready. I think here if we clear all the threat, we can flip down. So do we have anything to put on top of the deck? I think we'll use Domino's ability to swap the top of our deck with a Lucky Break. We got Luck Be a Lady. It's also a super interesting card here. We know the top card is a wild, and it says for each resource counted this way, we do one of the abilities, and Domino's hero card says that you count each printed card twice, each printed wild twice, which means that with Luck Be a Lady, if we play it for free, we can do 2 of these abilities. So we'd probably do, you discard it, which means we could add it to Painted Lady, but I don't think we need to. So if that's the case, I think we would do heal 2, deal 3. Actually, it's probably more responsible to do heal 2, remove 2 threat. Yeah, I think we do. So depth focus for the Luck Be a Lady. So we discard the top card of our deck. So it has wild, so we can do 2 of these. Do they have to be different? No, they don't have to be different. So we're going to heal 2 damage from ourselves. I think that's reasonable. And then we're going to do remove 2 threat from a scheme. So we'll clear pinned down. Okay. I don't think we'll Painted Lady this card. Now we'll do Domino's Pistol to do damage to the Macrobots. So we discard a card. This has a wild on it, so it does 2 damage. So this goes down to 2. I think we'll actually attach Power of Aggression here because we could grab it for setup. Mind you, Domino's Pistol has range, so we don't take Retaliate. I think here now we will just pitch 2 for no quarter and hope this works well. So no quarter. We have to pay with physical, which we did. And it says deal 4 damage to an enemy. For each point of the excess damage dealt to the enemy by this attack, discard the top card of your deck. So we're doing 2 excess damage to Macrobots. So we're going to discard 2 cards. Not a physical. Okay, total whiff. Absolute total whiff, but that's fine. That will defeat the Macrobots. We don't take Retaliate because they were defeated. And then we can play Chase Them Down because we defeated a minion, and Chase Them Down removes 2 threat here. We are still ready. We could attack for 2. We could also recover for 3, which is recover for 2. I think I'm okay here just recovering, honestly, because I don't think there's that much else to do. Like, I don't think we need to rush this King. I think we can set up and continue to set up. We're pretty good with the setup. We can also like grab one of these to our hand, but I don't think we really need to. So we're going to flip down, and I think we're just going to recover. Hey, Brennan, it's the space. Can't say to chat. Training a newbie at work. Good luck. Have fun. Yo, enjoy. Hopefully you have a good Friday. All right, we'll drop to 6. Psylocke, we can play that cheaply with our Power of Aggression if we want to. We got the Jackpot. This card is really important. You can do some really strong ordering stuff where you use Jackpot to play a card, and then you flip Jackpot with a card from your hand, so you end up playing Jackpot functionally twice around, which is great. We have a Lock and Load, which we can play and clear to get our next gun. There's our next gun. Right place, right time for some thwarting. And then finally, we have Diamondback, which is the AoE posse member. All right, so this is going to go up to 1. Kang schemes for 1 and a card. 3 boost icons. We found the Tyrannosaurus Rex, so this one's always really fun. It is just straight up a dinosaur. So that means this is going to go up to 5. So we could lose right here. We don't. It's an Ancient Warrior. An Ancient Warrior has Quick Strike, which when we're a hero doesn't matter. So we just have to at least shoot this thing, which shouldn't be that big of an issue. All right, we have a lot of threading to do. Shouldn't be that hard. So what are we going to do? We definitely want to pitch Jackpot for something. And then bring Jackpot back. I'm assuming we're just going to go for our guns and then just start blasting. The other options, we can grab Psylocke. I think we can just play Psylocke with Power of Aggression. So I'm going to pitch the Jackpot to play the second Domino's pistol. Again, we can do both of these. Just keep shooting. It'll chip away, doing usually 2 damage a turn. And now we'll use Nina's ability, which allows us to discard a card from our hand to swap it with the top card of the deck. So we definitely don't need Locked and Loaded. So we'll just go do that swap. We will... Do we need to play Jackpot twice, or do we want to discard Jackpot? I think we'd actually just rather play Jackpot twice, because we can set up on the top of the deck using Domino's ability. I don't think we actually have a big reason to fire any of these for more damage. Like right place, right time is already doing enough. So I think we actually just play Jackpot. So that's the case. Maybe we Jackpot for Diamondback. We have the Deft Focus to play right place, right time, so we're just going to need 1 card. Maybe we just take Outlaw. We Jackpot for Outlaw. And then we don't play Psylocke. That might be fine too. But I'm not sure that we need to get this back into the deck. We could grab it on the Painted Lady and have it ready for a future turn, but actually, it's really nice to have this in your deck when you're this low, because you can end up hitting it a couple times. You like just keep shooting and every shot does like 3 damage. It's pretty sick. Interesting. I'm not sure what we're meant to do here. Yeah, I think we probably just play Outlaw. So we're going to grab Outlaw with the Painted Lady. So exhaust us to add 1 card attached to your hand. Then I think we're just going to play the Jackpot for Outlaw. Outlaw comes in with 3 health and toughness, so we're probably going to block with this. I don't think we're going to use Outlaw. Toughness allies are always really awkward when you play them and you don't get value immediately. You just have to wait a bit, I guess. We'll flip up. Here, we want to swap a card with the top of our deck. I think we're okay swapping a Diamondback, ensuring that we have our Wild. So we grab to chase them down. That's kind of perfect. We're going to shoot with a pistol, which discards the top of our deck. It's a Diamondback, which is 2 damage. We can attach it to the Painted Lady. We will. It defeats the Ancient Warrior. After we defeat the Ancient Warrior, we can just play Chase Them Down to clear 2 threat from here. And then here, we'll just use Deft Focus to play Right Place, Right Time, which says remove 3 threat, discard the top card of your deck. It discards 1 more, but that doesn't matter. Domino's ready. We'll attack for 2. Villain's down to 4. And I guess we'll shoot the villain. Domino's pistol. That's 2 more damage, a good workout. Villain's down to 2. So I think we set up relatively well. We'll probably just advance on this round. I think I'm going to cover the text more than the art, because I don't think on the camera you can really read the text that easily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 2 cards left in our deck. I think one of them is a Digging Deep. I think it's a 50-50 to hit a Digging Deep, which is always really fun. So we have 1 Digging Deep, 2 Digging Deep. No, they're all 3 here. So I don't know what these 2 cards are. This goes to 1. Kang is going to attack for, I'm going to say 4 and a card. Threat on this doesn't matter, because when we defeat Kang, we advance. So actually, we can probably just do this to 2 threat, and Kang is attacking for 2 and a card. Our hand here, what do we want to do? Superpower Training is not super useful. One of our bottom 2 cards, oh no, this is the card that we want. We want Probability Field. So I think blocking with Outlaw here is totally fine. Just use the toughness. If that's the case, we will do 4 and a card. Boost 1, Temporal Shield, 5 damage. Outlaw, tops. And our encounter card is Energy Blast. There's no way that there's only 1 card with this name, right? Oh, there is. Hero. Kang attacks you. Okay, straightforward. So now Kang is attacking for 2 and a card, or 4 and a card if we don't want to put threat on the main scheme. I think we can block here. We'll block for 3. We'll put the threat here. And Kang is attacking for 2 a card. We're blocking 3. It has 2 boost with depowered again, so we're going to take 1 damage. We're down to 8. And that should be us. Again, if we just shoot Kang once, we will probably advance right away. I don't think there's a reason not to do that. Yeah, I think that's okay. So if we shoot once, we discard a card. We can always swap a card with the top of our deck if we really needed to. But if that fails, we'll just shoot again. So we're going to Domino's Pistol once, discard a card. It only does 1 damage. Okay, now before we shoot the second pistol, we actually have to decide to play cards, because if we miss these cards, they will miss our cycle when we deck out. So for instance, I'm going to play Energy for Probability Field. This is a super important card for us. This is one of our best upgrades. And it just says when you use a basic power, you can discard the top card of your deck to get +1 to this. And actually, you don't even exhaust this. You can just do that whenever you want. It's been a while since I played Domino. Man, Domino's good. So whenever you use a basic power, so that can be everything, including recovery, discard the top card of your deck to get +1 for that use. So that means we're technically thwarting for up to 3. All right, do any of these other cards we want back in rotation? I don't think so. I think we can play Superpower Training just to get it out of our deck. I don't actually think there's any identity-specific upgrades left in the game, so this card's useless. We don't have Master Plan because we're not playing on Expert, so there's actually not a huge reason to get this on the table. Oh no, we can get like Lucky Break or the other one. Or yeah, Lucky and Good. Yeah, that's fine. We'll play Superpower Training. We're just going to clear this when we have extra actions or extra like thwarting. This actually doesn't do that much for us, but it's nice to get it out of the deck. We'll hold on to Prof X, and then we'll just shoot again with Domino's Pistol. So we discard this card. It does 1 damage. It was the last no quarter. We deck out so we get an encounter card, but Kang the Conqueror has been defeated. And I think Kang the Conqueror says when defeated, we have to advance this scheme. When defeated, advance the main scheme to stage 2 at the end of the phase. Oh, at the end of the phase. That's fine. Okay. So we just basically pass here. We have nothing else to do. Do we want to attach no quarter to the Painted Lady? Oh, that was actually interesting. Yeah, I think we actually do attach a no quarter to the Painted Lady. I think it's an interesting thing to have. Mind you, the Painted Lady can only hold 3 cards, so we're going to have to flip down and grab one of those cards. But that's a reasonable thing to want to be able to grab if we can jump down to Alter Ego. It's not the best, but it's fine. Okay, we just have Prof X. We'll just pass, and at the end of the phase, we advance. So we ready everything, we draw up, and then we advance. So we have Lucky and Good, one of our last upgrades. Right place, right night time for some thwarting. Psylocke, Weapon X. Oh, hold the phone, actually. We shouldn't play this. If I'm not mistaken, when you advance, it cares about how many side schemes are in play. I think we get just mad punished if we play this. So I'm going to discard this and shuffle that back in. I'm pretty sure I remember when you advance, if there's side schemes in play, something bad happens. So I'm going to just destroy this thing here and then just pretend we discard it at the end of the turn. We had 2 resources. Yeah, I think you actually don't want to have side schemes when Kang advances, if I'm not mistaken. This was before player side schemes, but a lot of times they just say, if there's side schemes in play, something bad happens, because this is when you divide into like sub kind of games. And so the side schemes kind of get messed up, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so we'll redraw our hand. Luck be a lady. We got Richter. We got Pip the Pug. We got Superpower Training that's back. And that is our 5-card hand. Jai, how's it going? How you holding up? All right. So now we advance. Just checking in. Advancing to the Master of Time. Yeah, hopefully you're doing well. Maybe your 2 weeks are not too bad. The Master of Time. Kang reels back, but he saves himself by separating the heroes through time and space. Yeah, okay. Place 1 acceleration token here for each side scheme in play. Yeah, I knew it. I was pretty sure there was something bad when side schemes happen when you advance. So I'm glad we didn't play the side scheme, because we would got an acceleration token for like literally no reason. Each player reveals a random stage 3A in turn order. Remove any unused stage 3 schemes from the game. So there's a bunch of 3As. There's 4 of them that represent different Kang timelines. And we're just going to roll a die. This will be 1 and then 4 obviously on the other side. Looks like we're going to the Chronopolis. So these are now removed from game. So this timing sometimes is a bit interesting. So we were in the middle of this, and this says each player reveals a random, then we have to continue this. So we're revealing the Chronopolis. Chronopolis says, when revealed, create your own game area. Luckily, we've done that. And place the scheme in it. Add Kang Immortus to the game area and deal yourself an encounter card. So Kang the Conqueror is defeated. Now we have to deal with Kang Immortus. This is Kang Immortus. Has toughness, 18 hit points. Okay. Kang Immortus, deal yourself an encounter card. Okay, we'll remember to do that. We have drawing a lot of encounter cards here. Kang Immortus, toughness, 18 health. This villain cannot take damage while a minion is in play. Cool. When defeated, remove the Chronopolis from the game. At the end of the phase, join another game area. This is the thing, is if you're playing multiplayer, you're suddenly on your own and you have to sort out your own problems because the timeline has like fractured, and then you can come back. So 2/2 is not too bad. The whole minion thing, we're good at dealing with minions. That's actually probably pretty good for us. So I don't think we mind this one at all. Now we have to finish resolving all these other things that are kind of pending. So we flip over the Chronopolis. The Chronopolis on the back, it says, the Chronopolis, force response. After the stage is completed, place one set aside Kang's Dominion face down underneath stage 4A. At the end of the phase, remove Kang Immortus and this stage from the game and combine your game area with another game area. If the players of the stage are defeated, the stage is completed. So this is also another cool thing, is if somebody fails independently, that's not the end of the game, but the more that you fail from the different timelines, the worse that the final Kang is going to be, which is actually like pretty rad. So I think we're okay. We have to finish the Master of Time 2B. Force interrupt. When acceleration token would be placed on another scheme, place it here instead. And it says players cannot join this game area unless there are no other game areas remaining. When all players have advanced, go to 4A. So for us, it's very simple. We just have to do 3. And once we do 3, we'll go to 4. Famously balanced comic book matchup, Domino versus Immortus. I think Domino's absolutely cracked here, but I know very little about what Kang is. So I don't think they've crossed paths is my guess. I'm back home for the weekend. Have a short field exercise next week. Absolutely zero cause for concern, but thanks anyways. Okay, that's really, really cool. Are you like having to do like, I know exercise means a lot of different things and I'm imagining it means like drill, but are they like, you know, making you do push-ups and spitting on you and all that sort of stuff? Oh, that cool sub-dom military technology. All right. Now it's the villain phase. This gets 1. Kang Immortus is now going to attack for 2 and a card. I think we're totally fine blocking here. We're pretty good at blocking. That's kind of our thing. And here we can use probability field. This is whenever we use one of our basic abilities, we rip a card off the top of the deck. And it's a digging deep, which is perfect. So we block for 5 and we add this to our hand. Domino is a lot of fun. We could have attached it to the Panty Lady, but obviously we don't. So it's 2 and a card, 2 boost icons on time travel hijinks. We take no damage. Unfortunately, 3 encounter cards. Let's see how this goes. I'm sitting in the back of a radio vehicle for 2 days is all. Okay. All right. That doesn't seem that bad then. Nowhere safe. Place 1 counter on Pursued by the Past. When this gets 4 counters, mind you, we get our Nemesis. Then we have to discard an upgrade or support we control. I think the worst one is the Painted Lady. I think our worst support is this Painted Lady here. This is cracked. These 2 are very good. I think you could argue you can get rid of a Domino's Pistol, but I think in solo, it's not that easy to jump bound to Painted Lady. So I think we're just going to discard all these cards. Again, when the cards are attached or discarded, the host card is discarded, the attached cards are discarded. Next up, Dark Designs. Okay, getting worse, that's for sure. Place 1 pursuit counter here. Then Kang, the Immortus, is going to scheme out. So 2 and a card. We can't stop that. 2 boost icons. So that's 4. We're up to 5. Finally, Sinister Strike. We get all the activations. Okay. I always write too few letters. So now we're up to 3 suddenly. And now Kang is going to attack. That's for 2 and a card. We could block with Immortus. Sorry, we could block Outlaw. I don't think I really want to. I think I want Outlaw here. Outlaw attacks like very, very well. Outlaw can attack for a massive amount of damage. When you attack, discard and get +1 for each resource icon discarded that way. We have a bit of healing in Luck Be a Lady if we can set the top of our deck up, which we can with Digging Deep. So I'm assuming we'll just take this damage here and then probably heal up a bit. So we're going to be attacked for 2 and a card. 2 boost icons again. So we're down to 4. Yeah, that was a pretty rough round, but I think we're going to be okay. So what do we want to do here? We can play Prof X and actually jump down. Funny enough, we talked about not being able to jump down. Luck Be a Lady's free off of Deft Focus, which is pretty good. And we want to discard a card from the top of our deck with Digging Deep so that we can draw into our hand again. So if that's the case, I think we'll just start with the swap and we'll swap our top of our deck with a Digging Deep. It's a Digging Deep. Sick. We've gone infinite. Counter card went to player discard. Oh my god, I do this all the time. I realize halfway through the game I have player cards in here and encounter cards in this. And that's entirely because now the encounter discard pile is over here. Good catch, BMK. I mess that up a lot. It's just because now they're both right-hand decoded. It used to be like encounter cards are here, player cards are here, and now my signals are totally goofed. Okay. So I think here we're just going to Luck Be a Lady. We know what we're discarding. we're discarding a Digging Deep, which goes into our hand, and so it counts as having 2 wild icons, so we can make 2 choices here. I think we're just going to heal 4. I honestly just think we're going to heal 4. Actually, no, we probably should remove 2 threat here. So we'll move 2 threat and then heal 2. So we'll restore up to 6. Okay. This means Prof X can finish that off. We're going to start shooting with Domino's pistol. So Domino's pistol shoots and discards. It does 1 damage, which is perfect, taking the tough off. Then we'll shoot with the other pistol. It's going to do damage equal to White Fox. God, when it's good, it's good. When you're lucky, you're good. So White Fox comes into play when she's discarded, and we still do 1 damage to Kang. Mind you, Kang only can't take damage if there's any minions in play. This Immortus Kang, and so far not been a problem. Damn, that was sick. That's the second pistol. I think we'll play Prof X to clear and get a chump blocker. So I think we'll just do 1, 2, 3 for Prof X. When Prof X enters play, confuse a villain, ready an X-Men, stun a minion. We are not an X-Men, notably we're X-Force, so we can't actually ready ourselves, which is something you don't always not do with Prof X. But we'll definitely go for the confuse here. We'll exhaust Prof X, who, mind you, Prof X leaves at the end of the turn, or at the end of the round, so that's that. Is some Domino's mechanic just top deck manipulation? Yes. And if you don't want to manipulate, just get lucky. But it's all about just like ripping the top of the deck. And I'll play Pip the Pug, which is more top deck sort of manipulation. Exhaust Pip the Pug as alter ego to put a Domino or Posse card from your discard pile on top of your deck. That's all luck. All right, I think we're going to use Outlaw and attack for 1. Outlaw, same thing, attacks for 1. And it's not forced, but we will. Discard the top card of your deck. It's a genius, so that's 2 icons discarded. So that's actually 3 damage, taking 1. So the villain is down to 14. We might as well attack with White Fox, which is 1 more. And I think here we have no big reason to jump down to Alter Ego. We have a Genius on top of the deck, which means we can play the Genius twice. We could jump down to Alter Ego just for additional hand side, but then we lose the Prof X block. I'd rather use the Prof X block on this round. Whenever you hop down after you confuse the Prof X, you lose the value of like blocking with Prof X, which feels relatively bad. All right, draw back up. Energy. No quarter. We'd love to get a minion. Digging Deep. Okay, we can put that on top of the deck. Sharpshooter, another good top deck payoff. And a right place, right time, which is a bit of thwarting. All right, this goes to 1. Kang is attacking for 2 and a card. We'll block with Prof X. 5 damage on a rampage, so big boosts. Prof X doesn't mind. Counter card. Macrobots. Nice, we got a minion. So Macrobots has guard. Hold on, I'll just pull myself back. 4 health, guard, retaliate 1. Notably, retaliate does not happen if you defeat the thing or if you attack with ranged. So our game plan here is to soften it off and then no quarter. The really awkward thing about no quarter is that if we do no quarter and we hit the Digging Deep, it's not a aggression card, which we want aggression cards on top of the deck. We also have to play for this with a physical icon. So I think we're actually going to throw out the right place, right time to play for no quarter, which is slightly awkward. The fact that we don't have any like wild resource generators is a bit rough for playing that requirement on no quarter. Regardless, I think we'll shoot the Macrobots first. So I'm going to use Domino's ability, which allows us to manipulate the top of the deck. So swap with this Digging Deep at the top of the deck. We love a physical resource. We got a physical resource. Damn, he's good. Okay, so then we'll shoot with the pistol, discarding the Digging Deep. When it's discarded, it goes to our hand. And notably, our pistols do ranged damage, so we don't take retaliate. So that does 2. Then we'll pitch 1, 2 for no quarter. This does 4 damage to the Macrobots. It'll defeat the Macrobots. And then for every excess damage, we discard the top card of our deck. So we'll discard, get a boot camp, get to chase them down. Pretty sick. Pretty good. He is pleased with himself. All right. So we can play Sharpshooter, no problem for our last pistol. We can chase them down. We can play right place, no time, right time, but chase them down does the same thing. I think we actually could just play the boot camp here and just push damage. I think we're actually like flying through Kang on standard. I think it seems relatively easy. Knock on wood. So I don't know if we have to clear this. So boot camp is going to be like these 3 cards to play this. So a double and that, and then we can't play Sharpshooter. I like Sharpshooter a lot. It actually might be a consistent amount of damage or an equal amount of damage. If we rip Domino's pistol, can we hit a Digging Deep? No, all 3 are in the bin. Her hero cards get stronger based on the resources on top of the deck. Wild resource cards double what she does this, and her abilities let her manipulate 1 on top of the deck. It's a good thematic execution for luck manipulation. It's a really good execution of luck manipulation. Like, it feels good because sometimes you do want to just rip it, but other times you like obviously literally stack the deck, which is like just good fun. I guess Andre is going to go another day without playing boot camp. That's great. Good for him. We'll play Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter says, when you make a ranged attack, discard the top card of your deck. Oh, you don't exhaust it. Fantastic. It's been a while since I played Domino. Discard the top card of your deck. This attack deals an additional damage for each resource icon this way. So we'll use Domino's Pistol, which discards a card. Fuck. Shit. Oops, we nuked. All right, so Domino's Pistol, we discarded the jackpot. Domino's Pistol, sorry, the pistol says, exhaust Domino's Pistol, choose an enemy and discard the top card of your deck. Deal damage to the enemy for each resource icon discarded this way. This attack gains range. So Kang is taking 3 damage. Now, Jackpot, when it's discarded, which is one of the few 3 resource cards in the game, says after this card is discarded from the top, shuffle it back into the deck. Now, I'm not sure when Sharpshooter is meant to interrupt this. Because Sharpshooter says when you make a ranged attack, discard the top card of your deck. When you make? Is that after or at the same time? I'm assuming I'll discard both of the cards. That is technically a double, so that is 2 more damage. So we're down to 8, and then we're going to shuffle the jackpot back in. Assume there's a downside for going through your entire deck like an Arkham, so it's not all upside. It's not bad. Whenever you deck out, you have to just take another encounter card. Which, like, encounter cards are not good, but it's, like, not a detriment enough to not rip through your deck. It's a detriment, so you can't build a deck that like rips through the entire deck all at once, like infinitely. Because if you do that, if the encounter deck ever runs out of cards, because all the cards are on the table and you can't draw a card, you do just lose the game. I don't think there are decks that actually can go infinite. I think it's like really, really niche though. But that's the only reason you don't want to do like hyper turbo draw. But you can just still draw really aggressively and not care. But there's a small downside, yeah. Just like in Arkham, it's a downside. But like a lot of Arkham decks can just have enough horror soak that it doesn't matter. It kind of feels more like that. All right, I don't know. I think Sharpshooter, you rip the cards all at the same time. Okay, that leaves us with this. Not a very playable hand. We can just play right place, right time. I guess we will. So we'll use Deft Focus, remove threat here, discard a card from the top of the deck. It's a jackpot. Okay, that goes back. We technically did thwart for 6 there. Oh man, if we used Domino's attack, we would have been in a much better spot there. Okay, I'll hold on to boot camp for all the believers in chat. We'll attack for 2 using probability. I'm shuffling. I want to be very clear. We've ripped that 3 times. That's 5 damage. What's happening? We'll shuffle that back. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm shuffling. I'm cutting. How did we hit that 3 times? Yeah, the triple jackpot. Like, that's some domino shit. Look, I'll cut. I don't. Let's attack with Outlaw. You want to rip another one? So attacking for 1 plus. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What the fuck? That defeats Kang. There was one. All right, we defeat Kang. Oh, that's cool. What the heck? Like, you can't make this shit up. I'm gonna cut. Anyways, Kang's defeated, so that's good. Hold on. Kang and Mortis did not stand a damn chance. Oh my god. When defeated, remove the Chronopolis from the game. Okay, get out of the game. At the end of the phase, join game area A. Okay, so we're just sitting here awkwardly while Kang is like not dead. Go buy a lottery ticket. I've exhausted my luck. It's a limited quantity. Holy crap. That is absurd. I'll hold on to boot camp because of belief. And now, are we going to top deck another? No, we didn't. Okay, that makes sense. So 1, 2, 3, strength. Okay, wait, we had an upside down card. That's not good. Oh, the deck is just upside down. Yeah, just the strength is upside down. Weird. Not sure what's going on. So at the end of the phase, join another game area. Okay, so we're going to join another game area. The Master of Time says, when an acceleration token will be played here, players cannot join this game area unless there are no other game areas. When all players have joined this game area, advance to stage 4A. Okay, so we're off to 4A. This is Kang's Wrath. The famously balanced comic book matchup. I just didn't realize for who. You use your enemy's technology to reunite in the present day, just in time to counter Kang's assault on Earth. When revealed, reveal Kang 3 and add him to the game area. Reveal each face down Kang's dominion. So you get Kang's dominions by like failing as some of the like the branching time shard stuff. But we're just gonna go straight to Kang 3. And we have to defeat Kang 3. Notably, most scenarios are Kang 1 or 2, or sorry, most encounters are like you have to deal with villain 1 and villain 2, or villain 2 and villain 3. This is the only one that you have to do 1, 2, and 3. So we'll flip this really quickly to see what the back of this is. Kang's Wrath. That's absurd. When revealed, each player searches the counter deck, discard pile, and set aside area for their nemesis minion and puts into play engage with them. Yo, that's actually pretty interesting. Comes in with no threat. Shuffle and counter deck. So our nemesis is just Topaz, I think, who's just hanging out over here. 1 second, let me get her. That's Topaz. So Kang has figured out our nemesis. Now this is going to activate against us because we're going to enter the villain phase and we had no time to deal with this. And we just have to defeat Kang. Otherwise, if this is completed, we lose. Let's look at Kang the Conqueror really quick. So this is Kang the Conqueror 3. Has toughness. Has 20 health. So villain set 20. When Kang attacks you, either place 1 threat on the main scheme or +2 attack, and when defeated, players win the game. So same text as the first one, besides the win the game thing. Topaz, do we put her into play? We put Topaz into play. Notably, Kang's Wrath says that you put your nemesis into play, not reveal your nemesis. So we're not going to have to do the when revealed on Topaz, which is the real big downside of Topaz is the when revealed, because put into play is different than reveal. Topaz says, when revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Superpower Feedback, which kind of nullifies our ability. That makes it a bit awkward, but luckily we don't have to do that. So Topaz is just going to attack us for 2. We didn't use White Fox. I think that's it. I think we're ready to continue on the Kang fight. So Kang is now going to attack us for either 2 in a card or 4 in a card after we put 1 here. I think our hand can no quarter Topaz, no problem. So I think we can just like chump block for 4 damage with Outlaw. So we'll do it 4 damage. But Outlaw can get Jackpot. We'll just take the damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boost icon. This card negates 1 boost for each obligation in your play area. We haven't found an obligation yet. There seems like a lot of obligation synergy. We just haven't seen a single one. Obviously, when you play more players, you draw more encounter cards, so you're more likely to see some of the synergy sets. And this is what I was talking about. Like the encounter decks are so much thicker in like some of the earlier scenarios that you don't often find some of the synergy points. Then Topaz is going to attack us for 2. It's just 2 damage. We could block it for 3. Our activation's actually not super useful here, so I think we'll just like straight block it. We won't actually use our probability field, so we'll just block the damage. Counter card, Stolen Memories. Okay, we found our first obligation. We talked shit. When revealed, place the top 8 cards of your deck face down underneath this card. Oh no, our jackpot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our deck is 1 last card, which means we'll cycle out really soon. Alter Ego action. Good thing we have a Confuse on Kang. Discard a mental resource from your hand to discard this obligation, and all the face down cards are discarded. So in theory, we don't have perfect information what this card is. There's a 1 in 9 shot that it is the jackpot, which would be hella hype. Issue now is that our deck is so thin, like the no quarter becomes a lot less good, because when you have to discard X cards, if your deck only has less than X cards, you don't shuffle and keep discarding. You just discard as many as you can. So not going to be great for us. 1 second. Hold on. Sorry. I think I goofed something up. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. All right. So what are we doing here? We don't really need to care about these 8 cards potentially. Like it's fine. You don't need the 8 cards back, but we don't have a problem jumping down. Here we can swap a card with the top of our deck. I think the no quarter on top of our deck means that we Domino's Pistol. Oh, the issue too is with Domino's Pistol and Sharpshooter, we don't actually discard 2 cards because we can't. So we'll just not be able to do enough damage. So the way that we can confirm killing Topaz is with a good workout, which we pay for 1 resource. And I think that's fine. I'm going to discard Boot Camp. I don't understand this card. I think if you play multiplayer, maybe, but this card is just way too expensive for what it does. I don't get it. I regret holding on to it. So we will pitch 1 and 1 for a good workout. It says deal 4 damage to an enemy, so we'll target Topaz. Discard the top card of your deck. Okay, thank God it's not Jackpot. While this card is resolving, our deck is emptied, so we have to shuffle it. This card is still on the table resolving, so we don't shuffle it back, and that will deal enough damage to defeat Topaz. Then this goes to the discard pile. I do actually like this game that the rules are whenever an encounter deck the encounter deck or your deck is empty, you just immediately shuffle before anything else resolves. It's just like this high priority interrupt. And I actually dig that a fair bit. All right, so guaranteed our jackpot is underneath Stolen Memories, which makes me actually want to deal with it now. Okay, so we can swap the top of our deck with a card in our hand. I'm okay doing that just so that we get some more violence in. I will swap No Quarter, which is useless, with the top of our deck. It was a Digging Deep. No! If we just shot, we would have got into our hand, which actually doesn't matter. We can't use the resources, but that's fine. That's good to know. White Fox will just take the toughness off, taking 1 consequential, and then we'll just start shooting. So we'll use Domino's Pistol Sharpshooter, so we'll discard 2 cards. It's doing 2 damage. Mind you, Kang doesn't really have any text that cares about getting hit. We'll do Domino's Pistol again. Again, just want to check. Sharpshooter doesn't actually care. It's not once per phase or anything. When you make a range attack, this attack deals 1 additional damage. Love it. So we'll discard 2 cards. 1, 2, 3, because this has a wild. So that's 3 more damage. Again, so what do you just set up with your guns? Like, you just do so much damage consistently. With this, we can discard a wild, which is fine. I think that's it. So we're going to just pitch Strength to play Lucky and Good. This just says here interrupt when a boost card is flip face up, cancel its boost ability, give a different card, which is kind of whatever. Then we'll flip down with Domino, and then we're going to discard Digging Deep to deal with Stolen Memories. It looks like there's a bunch of things that punish you for having obligations, so we'll get rid of this. Discard a wild icon or a mental icon. Notably, it doesn't say printed mental icon, so when you discard this, you can choose what it is whenever you discard or you pay it, I'm pretty sure. Actually, that might not be true, because I think you can choose what this is when you pay it, maybe not when you discard it. How do wild icons work? Because you choose what the type is when you pay the card. I'm not sure if discarding it counts. Because what's like an attachment that you need to discard? Vibranium. Because does that say discard or does it say play? This says exhaust your hero and spend. Oh yeah, that actually might work because you're actually spending. So I don't know if we can actually discard this. It doesn't count as a wild. So if that's the case, this would be our mental that we would have to keep, which we discarded. So we would have to just reorder the whole turn and discard this. That's not an easy fix, so I think we're just going to worry about this next turn. So this will actually still be here. But I do think we're not allowed to do that on a rules technicality. All right, we'll drop to 6. We have 2 encounter cards. I think we're in a comfortable spot with the Confuse, but it could go bad. So there we drew a mental icon. I thought we just discarded this. It's already back? Oh my god. It's trying to get rid of that. Locked and load. Power of Aggression. This is actually a really cool thing that happens organically is once you get through your hero deck, especially because a lot of our cards are, installables, upgrades, is that you actually end up in a deck that's highly concentrated on aggression cards, which is really good with No Quarter that wants to discard cards for aggression cards. It's like a cool thing that naturally happens when you're more of a table player than you are like an event player. It's kind of a neat thing, and that might actually work out well for us. Now, oh, and one more card, excuse me, we're on 6. Profex, okay. That's 6 cards. This goes to 2. Kang would scheme, but is confused. We draw 2 encounter cards. First, Sinister Strike. This is going to pull out our Nemesis because we're going to hit 4 counters here. I need to learn to write more than just Sinister and tab through all the options. So place 1 pursuit counter here. If it has any counters, this card gains Surge, but it won't have any counters because as soon as it has 4, it pops. When this pops, we have to reveal our Nemesis. So Topaz is suddenly back. Topaz says, when revealed, search and counter deck discard pile and set aside area for a copy of Superpower Feedback. This card has text on it that I don't fully understand, but maybe together we can figure it out. And attached to your identity, that's Superpower Feedback. Pretty neat card. This says, attach to your identity. After you resolve an ability on your identity or an identity-specific card, take 1 damage. Alter Ego action, discard an identity-specific card from your hand, discard that card. Okay, that's an issue because we don't have an identity-specific card, but maybe we can fix that. Actually, we probably can't. I do not know in the terms of this game what is resolve an ability. Are passive abilities, are actions abilities? I'm assuming some of them are, but not all of them are. So I'm just going to say that anything we do that involves our text is an ability. So yeah. Not my lucky day. I like this card a lot. The art is great. Domino's having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. What children's book is that from? It's been a while since I've read that. When revealed, each player must either take a damage or place 2 threat here. We'll just take a damage. It has an amplify icon, so every time that we count icons on boost cards, that will count as 1 more. And we're shuffling 2 cards into the counter deck, minion, and another Superpower Feedback. Yeah, who has a very bad, no good day? It's not Amelia Bedelia. That doesn't make any sense. Oh no. It's from Steven Zaya's MSG story. I don't even remember what that is. I remember Zaya's story. There's no shot there's a Steve NSG story. Look at Pip ripping up some stuff. Okay, next encounter card. So again, we have a bunch of stuff to deal with. Is Macrobots. Okay, so we have 2 minions, which maybe we can go find something nice with our no quarter, but things got bad for our protagonist here. Superpower feedback is really annoying because we just tank ping damage and we don't like to tank ping damage because, mind you, all our good cards on the table are, you know, magic cards. Wow, domino cards. Superpower feedback, right? After you resolve an ability on your identity or an identity specific card. We really need to get rid of that. We might be able to pip the pug. Do we have a target for pip the pug here? We didn't consider this last turn. Exhaust pip the pug. Put 1 domino or posse card from the discard pile on top of your deck. Okay, that works. But how do we get that card into our hand? This goes on top of our deck. The issue is that this is an alter ego action. This is an alter ego action. So if we get lucky, this is the thing that I also don't know, is that if we discard Stolen Memories, we discard these cards face up. If one of those cards is one of Nina's cards, we can add it to our hand. The problem is, in what order are these discarded? Random or our choice? I actually don't know. I think I'm going to throw out Boot Camp because that's the best use for Boot Camp. And then Stolen Memories, we're going to get rid of this, discard a mental resource from your hand, discard this obligation, and these cards get discarded. So this is, I don't know. This is where like Order of Archives is a bit cursed. Because in theory, if I just flip this over like I did here and put this down there, the top card is technically now a card that we can get with Nina's ability, which is a card we need to get rid of superpower feedback. I'm not sure if these are meant to go in this order or the backwards order. Mind you, a good workout, right place, right time, and Jackpot is in here. But I mean, I guess we got lucky and damn, we're good. That's the name he tries to make an escape with the beanstalk from the moon and Zaya has to bail him. Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. All right, now we have to use Nina's ability to go grab a card. So choose a card in your hand, swap that card with the top of your discard pile. So we're just going to swap out a lock and load with this. However, superpower feedback says anytime that we use text on one of our cards, we have to take a bit of damage. Superpower feedback, we have to take 1 damage. Discard 1 identity specific card after you resolve an ability, so we'll take 1. We're down to 4. All right, then we'll discard this. Discard 1 identity specific card, discard this, so that's gone. Okay, Pip the Pug we could use. Pip the Pug says, exhaust Pip, put 1 domino or posse card from your discard pile on top of your deck, so we'll exhaust that, and then we're just going to go ahead and put our best card on top of our deck, which is Jackpot, so we're set up for that. We can get that into our hand, or we can discard it to like shoot Topaz and one-shot Topaz, which I think is pretty reasonable. I think here we have to recover though. So actually, let's not do this just yet. We're going to recover first with Nina, and here we can use Probability Field that says when you use a basic action, discard the top card of your deck. So Nina's recovering for 3, and we'll increase that by 2 because this is a wild. So technically, we're now recovering for 5, which means we're at full health. Cool. Then we'll use the ability on Pip to put this on top of our deck. Very good card. Yeah, very, very good card. And then we'll flip up. Okay, so this is where we can start jackpotting incredibly heavily because we can just keep jackpotting over and over again because our deck is relatively small and we'll be shuffling it back in and we're good. No quarter has a requirement, but with Power of Aggression, we can actually get that requirement consistently because when we play Power of Aggression for no quarter, we can count it as a physical icon. I don't think we need to play Prof X. I think White Fox can clear this alongside Chase Them Down. And ideally, we can get another card. Maybe another Chase Them Down would be good. So we have to figure out what the order is here. I think we're going to start with Domino's Pistol with Sharpshooter, targeting the... let's just do Domino's Pistol, no Sharpshooter into Topaz. Discards Jackpot, which does 3 damage. And when Jackpot fires, when it's discarded from the top of the deck, you can shuffle it back in. I will hard shuffle this and cut, and there's no chance we're getting it more than once. No shot. Cut. Okay. So now we have the Macrobots that have guard. We definitely want to deal with Not My Lucky Day. That is going to be annoying. So I think we're just going to now chip at it. We'll do Domino's Pistol plus Sharpshooter. We're actually looking not for Jackpot. So we discard 2 cards. Digging Deep, that's 2 damage. We get added to our hand. Power of Aggression, that's 4 damage. Oops, we killed it. My bad. Oops, that's on me. Not good. I wanted to be able to no quarter it. Maybe we shouldn't have sharpshootered. I think the chance of getting 2 wilds is pretty bad, but we wanted to get it down to 1 health so that no quarter could defeat it and like rip through some cards. But unfortunately, that didn't work in our way. So here we have a bunch of resources. We have Deft Focus with nothing. We could technically just no quarter Kang for 4 damage, which is probably the play. Otherwise, I think we just actually probably play Prof X and chase them down. Yeah, so we'll do chase them down. We just defeated a minion, so we can get rid of this. I really want more cards like this in aggression, because that's the only way I feel like I can play solo aggression. Oh, Domino's not meant to be on 14. Domino's meant to be on 9. Set 9. Right, and that's why I'm really excited for upcoming Bucky Barnes, because having a bit of like thwarting in your aggression deck is the only way that you can get away with playing it solo. All right, then we'll just pitch 3 for Prof X. You've seen this before. Prof X comes in, we'll confuse the villain just for some safety, and then we'll use Prof X as a chump block, but then Prof X will thwart for 2, clearing off Not My Lucky Day. And we are absolutely flying through this. I'm definitely going to play this on Expert in a second. If multiple cards are discarded from a hand or played by a singular effect, place those cards in an appropriate discard pile in any order. From deck, they go in the order they were on the deck. Oh, huge flip. So that we actually could have made sure when we discarded a bunch of cards from play that we can choose the order of them. So we got lucky that the top was lucky break, but we were guaranteed to get a card on top. That's very good to know. Hey, Donovan, nice to see you again. Hey, friend. Hope everything's going good. Things are going good. We're streaming a bit early today because we have to do some traveling. But I've been recording some other stuff. We'll have video content up on the channel hopefully next week. But it's good. It's good to be streaming every Friday doing some Marvel Champions. I've been having a lot of fun. And Domino's absolutely like tearing through stuff. I haven't played Kang in years. It's been pretty fun, actually. All right, we'll draw up to 5. Hopefully you're doing well too, eh? All right, Weapon X, right place, right time, chase them down, no quarter. This means that one of our 4 cards is a jackpot, so best of luck. Kang's Wrath goes to 1. Kang, we're just going to say that Kang the Conqueror is going to get... Other Kang the Conqueror, excuse me. I like how both the Conquerors have the same text. So Kang the Conqueror, we're going to give him +2 attacks, so attacking for 4 on a card. We'll block with Prof X. This is Boost Dark Designs. Put 1 counter here. We're not going to cancel that with Lucky and Good. That does defeat Prof X. So 15 damage, I think we can actually do in 1 turn. We get Drawing Near. Okay. An obligation. This didn't exist when Kang the Conqueror came out, but Drawing Near has some obligation synergy. It says when your turn begins, discard the top card of your deck. Imagine we discarded. Oh, wait, actually, this actually works poorly for you. Wait, is this a forced? This is a forced ability. Wait, that's hilarious. So after your turn begins, discard the top card of your deck, place 1 pursuit counter for each printed resource and icon on that card. But unfortunately, Domino actually double counts the wild here. When counting resource on cards discarded from the top of your deck, that's incredible. So actually you get bad synergy with Drawing Near. That's kind of hype, honestly. I was like, this doesn't matter. And then if you discard like Jackpot, you actually add 3 icons. Like, oh my God. So Jackpot's now a 1 and 3. Oh, now it's a 1 and 4. I miscounted. It was a 1 and 5 before. I'm just going to say that we can defeat Kang the Conqueror here. Our hand has a bit of damage, not a lot of damage, but I think the fact that we have such a thin deck that we can just keep shooting with Sharpshooter Jackpot and we'll Domino's Pistol, Sharpshooter Jackpot, that we'll just get there. So we can swap with the top of our deck. I don't think we want to. Yeah, I'm just going to shoot first. Pistol, Sharpshooter, so we discard 2. That's 3. That's 5 damage. Hangs on 10. Jackpot gets shuffled back in. Anyways, I started blasting. Now it's a 1 and 3, but we'll actually do a 2 and 3. Domino will shoot again, so we'll discard 2 cards. That's 2 damage we added to our hand. That's 4 damage, so our last card is guaranteed to be the... What's it called? I don't know if we can actually shuffle into a deck that has no cards, though. That actually might be a problem. Kang's on 6. Because, mind you, this is Jackpot, right? And Jackpot says that you can shuffle this into your deck. Oh, we will, but as soon as we discard this, then we get a new deck. So yeah, actually, it won't be a problem, but we won't get Jackpot again. That puts us on 6. We can attack for 5, and then White Fox wins. Yeah, so we'll attack with Domino. We'll discard the top of our deck with Probability Field, so we attack for 5 damage. Buck Wild, we deck out, so we'll get an encounter card. We have to shuffle this, and then we can shuffle Jackpot into our deck, but then we'll just attack with White Fox, which will defeat Kang. Good game. That wasn't very close. Domino's pretty good. I think we'll definitely try this on expert and run it back, but pretty neat. This deck is fun. The no quarter stuff is actually working relatively well. There are good minions or enough minions, especially small minions for that synergy package to work. But I do think Domino's kit on its own is just so powerful that you could probably play blank cards with Domino and actually get away with it. I think Domino's kit is just very, very powerful. Well, not fully blank cards. Like I do think you want digging deep in White Fox, but just playing blank cards actually works relatively well. And shout out to the haters in terms of Boot Camp. The haters were right. Shouldn't have doubted the haters. Just not a card I'm gonna ever play, I don't think. Domino's little mini game is my favorite. It's so fun, especially when you get to the end of the game and you have like jackpot, jackpot, jackpot. The turn ago where we did triple jackpot was just kind of the best. I had the question with drawing near and Domino counting wilds, and unfortunately it's not Domino's lucky day for the ruling. It's a fun ruling when you get caught with your power as a downside. I think that's actually kind of neat. I like that a bit more actually, if there was upsides and downsides to each hero. All right, we're going to shuffle this up. We'll clean up and we'll just run it back. We'll try and do Kang Expert. That was actually relatively fast, so we might be able to do a third scenario. I'm not sure, but we won't be streaming for the longest today, but I'm glad y'all can drop by on a Friday. I also kind of made a bit of a mess because there's so many different Kang cards, so we have to reset this. Give me 1 second. So this is our deck. That's fine. This is us. We're at full health, which is good. We'll have to reset Kang to whatever Kang wants, and we'll just have to deconstruct this really quickly. We have to take out our not our obligation, but we have to take out our nemesis. So we have prototype, feedback, not my lucky day, topaz, and there should be another feedback. There it is. It's a quad jackpot, actually, which was absurd. It was really absurd. And the deck was not even like 5 cards. It was like 10 cards plus. Okay, this is that. We'll put this to the side. I have a mess here. Give me 1 second. Cards that are out of play. Oh yeah, we'll play with expert now, so we have to add those. Our obligation is out. But the thing is, the deck is so big. I don't get it. I don't like encounter decks that have massive decks. It just feels like you never touch the cards. Okay, so these are basic Kang. So this is Kang 1. So this is Kang 2222, Kang 3, and then Kang 1 is somewhere. We'll find it. This is Kang 1. Okay. So then here's all the 3s. Here's the 3s. Yo, chat, I'm going to do a thing where this is the Chronopolis. This is the one that we last played. I'm just going to remove it so we don't get Chronopolis twice in a row. In theory, you're meant to randomly, when you hit, if you hit main scheme 3, you're meant to pick one randomly, but we've already played this one, so I'm just going to put it aside so we don't have a chance of hitting it again. If you think that is not cool, I think it's fine. I honestly thought about it a fair bit, and I thought that was actually pretty rad. I thought about it. It was a good idea. All right, that's that. Kang's the minions outside of play. We'll bring that out of play. But now we actually are going to use Kang Expert. So they have different villains. I think the texts are all the same. I think just they have bigger numbers faster. Okay, you're out. You're in Kang the Conqueror Expert. How did I sort this in my system? In Cerebro. All right, toughness. That's the same. We have 15 health, so slightly higher. So we do villains at 15. Force interrupt when Kang attacks, you may place 1 threat on the main scheme or get +2 attack. Advance the main scheme to stage 2A. So exact same text, just 1 more attack if I'm not mistaken. No other changes. That doesn't seem like it'll be that bad for us. Knock on wood. We'll see how the other ones scale up. So we have, again, this encounter deck is so damn big, which I keep repeating is a weird thing. It's just like super inconsistent. And we've just added 3 more cards to it because we're playing on expert. But like, how are you meant to get through this in solo? I don't get it. Like, I was just playing against Venom, and Venom's encounter set is like 12 cards. And I'm like, wait, that's sick. That means Venom will do exactly what you think Venom will do on any turn. And it gives you a more time to play around things. Or at least it rewards playing around things because it's more likely the thing that you are playing around can and will happen. I like that a lot. All right. Kang's Arrival. We've seen this before. This doesn't change. The side schemes don't change, mind you. So Kang's Arrival. The backside says... Set each Kang 1, 2, and 3 inside, Dominions aside, remove each player, shuffle the encounter deck. Sure. And then we flip it over. It says when revealed, deal each player an encounter card. 7 threat. If this advances, we lose. Starts with no threat. So we'll give ourselves an encounter card. Kang is the epitome of multiplayer scenario, but enjoying champions is how you want is the epitome of fun. Yeah, Donovan, that's the thing, is like I was a bit cautious to play Kang, and I've only played Kang once because that was the only time I played a multiplayer, and I played with my partner and had a great time. I've heard from people that they still think Kang solo is like still pretty cool, and I buy it. Like it's been fun so far. This is definitely like a totally reasonable solo hero or villain, excuse me. But yeah, 100% the joy in this is playing like 2 or 3 players and then getting separated and then having multiple timelines. Like I think this was probably made for Gen Con is my guess, as much as I wasn't playing Marvel Champions back then. But this seems like the sort of thing they would put out at Gen Con and be like, have fun. I think there was some sort of like multiplayer scenario or at least multiplayer setup, organized play setup that was kind of leaked recently. I think it's probably a Gen Con thing. Maybe not. All right, we're Nina. Again, Nina's mulligan kind of matters because you can take a card from your discard pile and put on top of your deck, or put into your hand and then put it on top of your deck, which means if you open with a jackpot, you're actually allowed to play the jackpot twice on turn 1, which is a lot in terms of resource generating. Boot camp is still in the deck, which not feeling good about that, but could be worse, I guess. Actually, no, we could just take it out. I think we're at 41 cards currently. Yeah, I'll keep it in. I feel like I should always pile shuffle as a start. I never feel like this is enough. I feel like I need to take the practice where I take the half the deck and put it face up and half the deck face down and shuffle it to actually see like, let's just do this test, okay? This is not exactly going to be Marvel Champions gameplay, but just humor me for a minute. So I was told if you do this about 7 times, it is sufficient enough for a cut. The problem is that what I realize is like the top of the deck seems to stay by the top of the deck. So I feel like I have to do this 4 times. Then I should probably cut the deck. And then I should do it like 4 times. But in theory, this is sufficient as a shuffle if you do it up to 7 times. Just to do proof of concept, I'm going to take half the deck and I'm going to put it face up like this. And I'm going to do the thing that I normally do without cutting to see how well the deck looks shuffled. So if I do 1, 2, 3, because my thesis is the top of the deck will mostly be face up cards and the bottom of the deck will be mostly face down cards. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So top of the deck, like this, they could have been shuffled amongst themselves. That honestly looks okay. That's not the worst. Okay. That's a nice thing to experience, to know how bad your shuffling technique is. But yeah, I do think we probably should shuffle in the middle. Cool. All right, I'll give it another shot and go from there. All right. 6 card hand, 9 hit points. All the luck is on her side. Nina is on the case. First card, Prof X. Honestly, don't like it. Confuse is fine. If we can draw a lot of resources, we'll keep it, but there's no threat on the stage. If there was a side scheme or something else, Prof X is sick, but I don't think Prof X is a pure banger here, especially because Nina's setup is actually like very, very quickly, very good. No quarter, definitely not going to take that. Right place, right time, definitely not going to take that. Sometimes you'll keep it just so that you can trash the top card of your deck, but hopefully we find something else. Okay, stop it. Sharpshooter, that's in a maybe card pile. Energy, that's a keep. Okay, so not a great start so far. We definitely won't keep these. The energy makes it a bit easier to get Prof X down. The problem is like that feels like we're just paying, functionally we're paying 3 resources for a confuse and a block. I feel like playing 3 resources for a confuse and a block just ain't it. Obviously Sharpshooter does nothing, but I think we can keep it. Now, when we discard the cards, we have to discard them in the order because we can grab the top card and put it into our hand. So I think either we keep the wild on top or we keep Prof X on top. I think we'll keep Prof X on top in case we draw, I guess, maybe sometimes if we draw Jackpot, we can play Prof X cheaply. Chase them down, useless. Outlaw, not great. Genius, okay, not great. Give us a gun? No quarter. That's actually a really bad hand. Maybe we'll luckily get a card from the top of the deck that helps this hand, but it's not a great hand for sure. Okay, so Nina's ability allows us to choose a card in your discard pile, swap it with the top of the deck. Sorry, swap it with a card in our hand. So there's no chance that we need no quarter, and I would put us at a small chance that we could play Prof X. So I think we'll do the swap. Okay, nothing we want to play an alter ego. We'll flip. And now with Domino, we can choose a card in your hand, swap the card with the top of the deck. What are we actually playing with this hand? Like, I'd like to play this, and then I think we actually do play Prof X like this. So that means we can swap Outlaw with the top of the deck. We have no way to discard the top of the deck, so it's not like going to do anything. But if we draw like, I guess exactly Jackpot, so I'll do the swap. It's a superpower training. Oh, that's actually very interesting. That was actually a really good draw. Huh. Oh, I started way too soon. Okay. Because superpower training, we can actually clear with Prof X. If we clear with Prof X, we can go get an upgrade, which means we can go to get the thing that says when we activate, we can discard cards, and then we're off to the races. This card's actually really good. So I think we will just do that. So we'll play 3 for Prof X. Prof X will confuse Kang because we cannot ready ourselves. Excuse me, wrong pedal. It's fine. We'll get there. Oh no. Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. That's fine. So we'll get the confuse here. Then I guess we're just going to play superpower training for 1. That comes into play with 3 threat, and we're just going to immediately use Prof X to deal with it. That's a really fortuitous draw. Damn, we're lucky. So we'll get rid of superpower training, and then we'll search our deck for an upgrade. This also lets us shuffle the deck, so there's a small chance we could hit a top card of the deck that actually does something. Either we can get our gun here or probability field. I think probability field is just a bit more flexible overall. And we have 2 guns, and we also have ways to get our guns. We have other side schemes. So this is the probability field we just put into play. When we use a basic power, we can discard the top card of the deck. Ideally, if we discard... I don't actually know what we could discard that we can play sharpshooter. There's nothing. But here, we can just attack for 2. We might not just discard the top of the deck here. Yeah, I don't think we do. So I'll just hold on to this. I like that card a lot. And we'll just attack for 2, taking the toughness off. All right. Draw back up. Another pistol. Or a pistol. Nice. Psylocke. We'd love a double here. Deft Focus, another good setup card. And a good workout. So that's a bunch of damage. This hand's a bit hard to play. We can put good workout on top of the deck and make sure that we have a nice discard with probability field, which is probably the play, but a lot of expensive cards and not a lot of cheap ways to play them. A lot of the 2-costers are pretty rough to draw a whole hand of them. Kang's Arrival goes down to 1. Kang the Conqueror is now going to attack. The Kang the Conqueror expert, so we're attacking for 3 and a threat, or 5. We're just going to make it 5 because we're going to block with Prof X. So for 5 and then 1 boost icon on Energy Blast, that's 6 damage. Prof X is destroyed. And we get an encounter card. Time Travel Hijinks. I remember this card being really cool when I played it. The art shows a bunch of people arguing. When revealed, discard the highest cost card you control, then place it face down underneath this card. Shit. Alter Ego action. Discard an energy resource in your hand, which we do have those, to discard this obligation. Okay. And then the card underneath it is discarded. We are ready, mind you. So that's a bit annoying. There is a bunch of obligation scaling. Luckily, we have the confuse, so jumping down shouldn't be that hard, but it's back to us. Beans. Okay, so my guess is that we definitely set up with Deft Focus. We need to hold Sharpshooter to discard time travel hijinks. The fact that Prof X was discarded on top of the Genius is a bit rough because we can't go get the double if we wanted the double using Nina's ability. We might as well do a top of the deck swap. So for instance here, I'm going to swap a good workout with the top of the deck, hoping for a double. It's Richter. Okay. Beans. We don't need to recover, so I guess we're just going to attack for 2. So Domino will attack for 2. Villain's down to 13. Man, if we had a double, we could double play with Nina, which is really powerful. So we'll flip down with Nina. I think we'll just set up here. We'll pitch Psylocke for a Deft Focus. This just generates a resource for superpowers, and all our events are superpowers, I think. Or at least all our in-faction events. I guess we'll throw out Sharpshooter to discard Time Travel Hijinks. Actually, will we? Maybe we won't. Maybe it's better that... Yeah, we can. We'll discard Sharpshooter to discard Time Travel Hijinks. So discard an energy resource to discard this obligation, and we remove probability field. And then I think we're going to grab the probability field back. Because if we don't grab it now, we won't grab it. The issue is we only have 2 cards in our hand. But this is a superpower. But this is a hero action. No! Okay, so I think we're going to grab it anyways. So we're going to use Nina's ability to flip Richter with the probability field. And then I think we're just going to hold on to these. And that's going to be it. A pretty bad turn that we're IPing 4. We're only going to be drawing 4 cards instead of 6. But both of these cards are super important to our game plan. I actually do think so we're not too slow at drawing through a deck. I'm going to discard Domino's pistol because we have another pistol coming up. And we have a side scheme that can get the pistol. But I'll definitely hold on to probability field because we can play it for 1 resource next turn. So that'll be that. Cool. Drop to 6. Good workout. Gold balls. Lucky and good. Luck be a lady, which is nice with Deft Focus as well, and Outlaw. So again, very expensive cards. We haven't seen a Jackpot, but we also haven't seen a Digging Deep. I think we've only seen 1 Digging Deep. No Digging Deeps. So ripping off the top of the deck is actually likely to be good for us, as much as full random. Confused. Counter card. Time travel tactics. Surge. When revealed, each player takes 1 indirect damage for each obligation in their play area. Dealt with that. Rampage. Okay. This is a lot of threat on it. And when we defeat this, we have to end up taking a minion from the top of the deck, discarded randomly. Some of them are really big. Some of them are really small with quick strike, but 4 threat. Our hand has a bit of thwarting with Luck Be a Lady if we can set it up. We can also grab our pistol back using Nina's text, but we got to think. So again, having a resource in our hand is really nice now because you could pitch it, grab it with Nina and pitch it again. But unfortunately, we're having a bad setup turn here as well. So my guess, we don't need the good workout. We don't need lucky and good. I'm going to feel bad if we swap the top of our deck and it's a digging deep, because the digging deep chance is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So there's like 4 in 21 chance, a 1 in 5 chance that we either hit a digging deep or the jackpot, which would both be okay. So I think the problem is if we just like Luck Be a Lady, we have to set up the top of the deck because I don't think we can afford to get lucky with Luck Be a Lady. I think we actually have to do something. I think we have to get our gun. So I'm going to use Nina's text to swap gold balls for the gun. So then we can play gun for 2. We can play Luck Be Lady for free. Then we can't play the probability field. I think the probability field is more important, especially because it can clear rampage if we want to. So that means we do deft focus plus, I don't know, outlaw for probability field. We do that, and then we're holding 2 cards again. So I guess we're like really planning on getting a card from the top of the deck. We'll flip up. Okay, so now we have to plan. We could swap a card with the top of the deck. If the top of the deck is the 1 in the 3 in 21 of hitting a, what's it called? A digging deep, we're in a really good spot. The problem is if we play Luck Be a Lady and we just like full random rip it. Yo, Joel, how's it going? Hello, Mr. Good or Mr. Crash. How you doing? How's your Friday? We've been having a fun time just like, damn, I'm gooding our way through Domino, which is like totally on theme for Domino. We discard the top card of our deck and count the resource on it. Okay, so if it is, ideally the best case scenario here is a wild. Of course it is. But I feel like we want to just take the risk. Our hand is all wilds and we can swap a card with the top of the deck, but I think we just need this to be a digging deep that I'm not going to go for the swap. Because I would rather have +1 card. You know, we've been working on some RPG game prep. Which RPG? I'm like not very knowledgeable about RPGs, but I like learning a bit. I'm just going to rip this. Discard the top card of our deck. It's a digging deep for sure. That's still fine. This counts as a double because it has a wild on it. So we got to do 2 of these things. Heal 2 damage doesn't matter. Remove 2 threat from a scheme matters. Deal 3 damage, choose one of the above. I think we're just going to remove 4 threat from Rampage and go get a minion. So when Rampage is defeated, we discard cards on top of the deck until we get a minion, and we put that player into minion to play, so we don't do any unrevealed text. Okay, we get a Macrobots, classic Macrobots. Guard, retaliate 1, 4 health. We can, I think, work out our way through this, a good workout through this. We can also probably like probability field through this. Okay, so I'm going to throw out Outlaw and Lucky and Good for probability field. Then we can use probability field, and we're very likely. Okay, actually, we might. Okay, hold on. We have 2 cards here. So if we domino and we hit a digging deep, we'll get the digging deep in our hand, and then we can actually play our pistol. That would be the best case scenario. Otherwise, we can set up the good workout for the top of the deck, and guaranteed we defeat the Macrobots. So either here we're going to take a risk, because it's likely we only do 3 damage to the Macrobots, and then we take retaliate, or we can not take a risk. It's either are we feeling lucky or not? Because if we're feeling lucky, it's such a better play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it's a 3 in 20 shot that we hit the digging deep, and we can one-shot the Macrobots while also setting up. If we're not lucky, it's actually relatively bad because we take retaliate. I think we have to. Oh man, I really want to push it. Maddie says to do it. I might just play it safe. Maddie now says boo. Everyone's a critic. Oh man, that's a tough call. If it's good, it's like so good, but 3 in 20 is pretty bad odds. Yeah, I'll do the swap. Thank God. Okay. We're Domino, how can we not? I'm PMK, I'm so sorry I did, but I'm glad I did because it didn't work out. So now I'm going to attack with Domino, discard this. So that's 4 damage. Don't take retaliate. We defeat the Macrobots. That actually was a really good draw too, though, because we got to chase them down off the top. And now we can play chase them down to clean this. So we were actually like maximally not punished. As nice as that would have been. You got to believe in the luck. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We'll hold the pistol again, IP penalty 1, and we'll drop. Yo, Rushni, how's it going? Boot camp, good workout. There's our first digging deep, and there's the White Fox. So we can get White Fox or digging deep on top of our deck, and we can discard with probability field, and we'll be in an okay spot. So Kang's Arrival takes 1. We actually got lucky in a different way. Like Chase Them Down was a really good top deck. So Kang is attacking either for 3 in a card, putting 1 threat, or 5 in a card. That's the text on Expert. Well, it's the same text. It's just the numbers are bigger. So I think we're going to block with Domino because our attack is not that good, or activation. And then we're going to use probability field to discard. So we are blocking for 4 against what's going to be... I guess we had to decide this first, but I'm definitely going to put a threat here. So that's 3 in a card against 4. So that's 4 to 4. We take no damage. 1 boost icon. Counter card is pinned down. Nice. This thing cares about the amount of obligations. So it's just going to have Crisis on 2. No other text. So we have to clear this before we can touch that. Okay, so here we can continue to set up. The question is whether we want a cheap White Fox, which is a fine chump block, or whether we want to have another resource. So we have to plan this out. We could good work out for damage. I think that's whatever. I think I'd rather never play boot camp. Pitch a good workout. We can play the gun. And then we can swap this for this. But then we can't play White Fox. So I think we get White Fox top of the deck for sure. So we'll use Domino's ability to swap a card with the hand with the top of the deck. So we'll put White Fox on top, grab Painted Lady. That's nice. We can play that. Perfect stream as I start the arduous process of getting ready for my friend's wedding. Nice. You dressing up nice? Or you helping with like setup? I imagine it's a mix of both, huh? Enjoy. It seems like a nice weekend to get that done. All right. So then we're going to pitch by boot camp. We'll just pitch the Digging Deep for the pistol. Such a fun card just to start blasting. Now, this in theory, we lose a bit of extra damage, but I don't think we care. So we're just going to shoot the pistol. So we exhaust it, discard the top card of the deck. It has 1 icon, so that does 1 damage. But notably, whenever you discard White Fox from the top of your deck, you can put White Fox into play. Nice. Okay, I think with this, we'll just play the Painted Lady. Notably, the Painted Lady we can use as an interrupt when we discard a card to go grab the card that we discard and attach it here. That would interrupt White Fox. This is kind of like doing Steel Skin Scarring or Strike Fund on top of Buffer Drive in the wrong order. Man, if we had a Buffer Drive that was Painted Lady, we can host the card on it and grab the card. Oh my god, it would be good. I guess that's what Bling is meant to be. White Fox will just slowly work on this. I think that's fine. Well, it's all she can really do besides 1 damage. All right, draw back up. We haven't seen the jackpot yet. Lucky Break, Lock and Load, that's our second gun. Digging Deep, that's the second copy. Chase Them Down if there's a minion, and the last pistol. So we don't need the Lock and Load in theory. That means our deck, which is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards, has 2 good hits in it. It has 1 Digging Deep and 1 jackpot. So 1 in 4 chance. Kang's goes to 3. If White Fox blocks, we can't use White Fox to deal with Pin Down. I feel like we need to do Kang's Arrival. We have no thwarting in our hand, though. No thwarting in our hand at all. Not great. If we get a minion, we have a bit of thwarting. But now Kang is attacking either again for 3 in a card. I put 1 on here, right? I think I did. So either attacking for 3 in a card or 5 in a card. If it's 3 in a card, we put 1 threat here. And I feel like that's a bit scary because if we can draw Dark Designs and Kang can scheme and we're in a bad spot. So I think it has to be 5 in a card, which I think incentivizes us to probably block with White Fox. We have damage, but we don't have thwarting, but such is playing aggression, huh? Such is playing aggression. If we hit the Digging Deep, we just need to hit different cards. I guess we can do a top of the deck swap for Digging Deep and hope that's a playable card. Yeah, we'll block with White Fox, 5 in a card. Okay, big boost, 7 damage. White Fox is defeated. 1 encounter card. Drawing nearer. Oh no! Now we have this 1 in 4 shot of it being bad. After your turn begins, discard the top card of your deck. Power of Aggression. This counts as 2 icons because of our text. So this actually gets 2. We need a flip down. Oh my god. Drawing near is actually like really quite bad because it hits our text in a bad way. Is this from the core set? So Kang was actually a standalone scenario that came out, I think, during the 2nd or 3rd cycle. So they did a couple standalone scenarios that you can pick up that are just like no player cards, but only just like, you know, villain cards. The first one was I forget what they're called. The Wrecking Crew. Don't buy that. It's like the worst one. It's just not great. They've done a bit better job since then, making more interesting multi-hero scenarios or multi-villain scenarios. That was the first multi-villain scenario. Then Green Goblin came out, which slaps. Maybe Green Goblin came out before Wrecking Crew. I think it might have. And then this was the 3rd one, and it's specifically very cool in multiplayer because at some point once you defeat Kang 1, every player has to like break off into their own timeline and play their own individual game, and then fight to come bring back together, which is pretty fun if you have a bunch of players. Okay, this we have to get rid of. The problem is everything. The problem is literally everything. So it's now a 2 and 7 to hit the good card. Things are bad. We'll do the swap, hope for a threat card. It's a Digging Deep. Okay, so doesn't do anything. We're actually just in a bad spot. I think we drew poorly and that we can't really get out of this hole. I think we have to just let Drawing Near rip through us. And then we're just going to have to draw our Nemesis. I don't think we have a Confuse in sight. Our 2 Confuse cards are Psylocke and Prof X, and I think we saw both of them, yeah, literally together. So we have no more Confused, so flipping down is actually going to be really difficult in solo. Beans, okay, so 1, 2, we'll play our second gun. We got damage. Boy, that's all we got. We got a lot of damage. That's it. So we'll shoot. We discard Digging Deep. It does 2 damage. We can add it to our hand. Digging Deep, once it's discarded, gets added to your hand. One of the massive synergy pieces when you're playing a discard deck. We'll shoot again. That's 1 damage to Conqueror. Down to 9. We can thwart for 1. I think, yeah, we will. We'll just thwart, clear the pin down. We won't use our ability to discard the top of the deck because we don't really have a reason to do it. We'll play Lucky Break onto the table. I need to remember we have this. This allows you to like get a discard on a encounter card, reveal a different one. That's super useful if we get something that forces Kang to thwart out. So in theory, Kang can thwart to 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're 1 short of being able to safely flip down. And unfortunately, these cards are both trash. Do we want to attach anything to the Painted Lady? Actually, yeah, we'll attach Weapon X to the Painted Lady. That's a pretty fine card to have in Alter Ego, so that seems okay. And then I think we'll just discard these. We're going to draw another encounter card too, which stinks. Yeah, we're in 5 cards. That's pretty bad. So I think we'll just discard those. That means at least we're going to draw our Jackpot, which is nice, but we'll just pass the turn. Draw Angela. Diamondback, Strength. Jackpot was our second last card, and Pip the Pug, we deck out. Yeah, we really need to get a workout here, be able to like flip down. 2 encounter cards, we can block. I think with the Lucky Break, we're comfortable to let Kang attack for 3 and put an icon in there. We do have a bit of thwarting in our hand. Not a lot of thwarting, actually. Angela doesn't thwart. Diamondback thwarts for 1. Not great. We might have some issues. I think with Domino, we have to thwart with the probability field and just stack the deck with the Jackpot, and then we'll thwart for 4. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, thwarting for 4 with Jackpot is great. We're going to have our Nemesis, though, in a second, almost guaranteed. Unless we whiff. That's the fun thing, is that we could whiff and not discard a wild, or not a double, and then drawing near only brings us to 3. Which, like, I think we need that to happen. So I'm glad at least we're holding Jackpot a double and 2 wilds. All right, this goes to 4. Kang the Conqueror activates. So either we put a threat here. I'm not going to. I think we're just going to be attacked. No, we have to, because we can't block. We're going to be attacked for 3 in a card. No block. Boost, you're stunned. Okay, that's fine. The pistols deal with that relatively cheaply. So that's going to be 3 damage. 2 encounter cards. First, depowered. It's an obligation. Okay, so we're stacking these. You cannot play hero-specific cards. Fuck, really? That seems quite bad. That's bad. Discard a hero-specific card in Alter Ego. It's so hard for us to get to Alter Ego. We don't have enough Confuse. Damn. Dark Designs. Okay. So, sorry, not that. This. Dark Designs, place 1 pursued counter, and then we would scheme, which means we'll lose the game. So luckily we have Lucky Break here. Lucky Break says, when you reveal an encounter card, discard Lucky Break, cancel the effect, reveal another. Notably, that's not playing the card. We are just triggering the card. This depowered says we can't play a card. So we reveal instead Macrobots. That seems like a good trade. So this has guard 1, retaliate. And it's back to us. Drawing near, we discard top of our deck. It is a wild icon. That's the worst. This hits 4. We go get our nemesis. Topaz, where you at? Topaz, when revealed, we have so many obligations. This is going a lot worse for us, and I don't think it's actually the expert difficulty. We're just not drawing well. When revealed, search and counter deck and discard pile. 4. Oh my god, I almost spilled a lot of water. 4. Superpower feedback, attach it to yourself. We'll get an on my lucky day out there. We'll shuffle these in. So we have 2 minions here. And we have some problems. We are stunned. And we have 3 different obligations that all need us to discard cards. We can't really afford to flip down because Kang is going to scheme really hard. So yeah, not great. Things are bad. Things are quite bad. We'll see if we can get out of this. This might actually be a pretty bad spot for our intrepid hero. Okay, firstly, superpower feedback. This we attach to our hero. After you resolve an ability on our identity or identity specific card, take 1 damage. That's an issue because we're gonna have to do a lot of abilities on identity and identity specific cards. So that's a problem. I do not know what an ability is defined as in the rule set of Marvel Champions. Is a response an ability? I think so. Is an action ability? I would say definitely. Is passive text like Domino's just like top text an ability? When counting resources, is that an ability? I honestly have no idea. So probably have to like do a quick Google. Sorry, superpower feedback. Otherwise, alter ego, discard an identity specific card to get rid of this. Now, we didn't finish Not My Lucky Day. Hey, Maddie, do you remember what was the kid's book that used the line, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day? Beans. Yeah, I can't remember. When revealed, either place, take 1 damage or place 2 threat here. I think damage is a bit sus. 2 threat here is bad. We have no thwarting in our hand at all, but we have to thwart this very heavily. The problem is if this is high, then Kang thwart's really high too, because the amplify icon. I guess we just take 1 damage. That's like not an easy choice at this point. So we're down to 5 health. Okay, we got our problems. We got so many problems here. We got lots of problems. What are our problems? So we use Domino's ability to swap cards. We get hurt because superpower feedback just keeps getting hurt. Grover's terrible, no good, very bad day. Read it to my children often. I don't know that one though. Like, I don't know who Grover is, but I've heard that many times. Who's Grover? Orly G, how's it going, by the way? Maybe I learned that from like a song in kindergarten. Maybe that was a song. I had a really good kindergarten teacher that just always showed up with a guitar. We just sang all the time. Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's the one I'm thinking of, Joel. Yes, exactly. Okay, we got a lot of problems. So firstly, we cannot play hero-specific cards. Problem. Anything that's hero-specific hurts us. This is a problem, and we're stunned. You don't know Grover? Wait, who is Grover? How do I... Hold on, there's a Grover search button I have here. So I think I can use this to search for Grover. One of these will search for Grover. Grover... Terrible, no good, very bad day. No, I have no idea who this is. Sorry, this is framed in a bad way, but I'm just trying to see this like thrift books thing. Oh, Grover from Sesame Street. Yeah, I know who Grover is. I've never read this book though. So Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good. +1 for who's... This is a Disney film. No, this is the book. I think I've been... Okay, that's a YouTube video. Can I back? Okay, I can't see all the buttons on the browser because the way this is set up, so I guess we're stuck there. It's somewhere in the middle. I'm not 100% sure. But that was definitely something that I was familiar with when I was a kid. Okay. Anyways, back to the thing that's going bad. So, what can we do here? We're going to take so much damage by just doing things. Notably, if we want to use Domino's pistol, which we can, we have to do the cost and then just not resolve the effect. So things that we need to do 5 threat off of here, which I think we just do with Domino. So that means we probably have to swap the top of the deck with Jackpot, which means that's an ability we fired. We drew Luck Be a Lady. Actually, that's really good, but we can't play identity specific cards. So we take a damage. Because this says after you resolve an ability, and I have no doubt that action is an ability. Fuck, this is bad. This is really quite bad. This is really, really quite bad. All right, so we're going to thwart with Domino. We're going to discard the top of the deck with Probability Field. This is after we resolve an ability and identity specific card. I think that's another damage. So this means that we're thwarting for 4. This goes down to 1. We can shuffle this back in. We're not going to because that would be an ability. And then that we take another damage. I can't think we can do that. So if we flip down to Alter Ego, right? Why do I have this diamond back? Do I have 5 cards in hand? Yeah, because we haven't played anything yet. If we flip down, this will go to 2. Kang will do 3, 4, 5, 6. That will do 7, 8 guaranteed. That's a problem. It's definitely not good. We'll end up taking a lot of damage, but we can start just like ripping through cards. The problem is these are all Alter Ego actions, and we have to go to Alter Ego, and we have no access to Stun or Confuse. We just cannot play hero-specific cards, so like literally this is our hand. And that's not good. That's really bad, in fact. Angela doesn't do any thwarting, but Angela could attack. The problem is like Angela spawns a minion. Yeah, I think we lose. I'm pretty sure we lose here. I don't think there's anything we can do. There's no way that we don't lose to threading out, right? We can, in theory, stay on this side, and we probably wouldn't lose to that, but, like, that's bad. Like, we just have we got obligation locked. Excuse me. I think we got obligation locked pretty bad. I think we always need to have a Confuse available. But yeah, having superpower feedback and depowered, like sometimes is a bit of an anti-synergy, I imagine, but I don't think we can do anything here. Our hand is not playable. None of those can be played. We have to Joe Dem to Alter Ego. In Alter Ego, can we do anything cool with Domino's text? Discard an identity specific card. So we can go to Alter Ego, we can get rid of this, we can get rid of this. Then we can get a card back with Nina's text. Again, this will go to 2. Kang will thwart. Best case scenario, it'd be 3, 4, 5. Then this is 6, 7. So if Kang gets a 0 boost, I think that we're okay then. But we also still have to defeat one of these two. If Kang gets a 0 boost and then we discard, we defeat Topaz, which is possible, but not very likely. Because we'd have to pistol and hit the jackpot, I think. Maybe Angela hits a T-Rex and the T-Rex thwarts for 0. You're staring death in the face. Well, that's a problem. Well, that's not good for us. I don't think there's anything else we can do here. I just want to plot out the options. If we had Luck Be a Lady, we'd actually be able to recover from this. But we can't play this. We can't play this. If we flip down, we could discard this, discard this. We could even discard that. But then there's just too much threat because this goes 1, 2. Then Kang goes 3, 4. Plus say 1. No. Then we go 5, 6. Actually, if there's 0 boost, we could survive this. If it's exactly 0 boost, because this goes to 2, then Kang screams for 3, 4, no boost, 5, 6. So the only way we get out of this is that the top of the deck has a no boost on it, which like, I don't think that's likely. It could be like one of these from standard 3. I don't know how many boost icons are in Kang's scenario. I just haven't played enough Kang, but I think that's the only options we can jump down. So we'll just hope. We'll flip down. Okay, it says discard an identity specific card. So I think we'll discard Pip to get rid of this. Then it says, oh, hold on, we'll do it in a different order. We'll discard Angela to get rid of depowered. Oh, it has to be hero specific too. So we'll discard Diamondback. Oh, Diamondback is actually really good into this. So we'll discard Diamondback next to get rid of depowered. Then we'll use Nina's ability to swap cards. So we'll swap Angela with Diamondback with Nina's text. Then, hold on, we can get lucky. Wait, Diamondback can actually like do a bunch of damage here. Oh, we would need to get the back. Okay, hold on. So we are actually going to take a damage because we are going to shuffle back Jackpot. I think our only chance of not getting cooked here is that we have to draw the Jackpot after we resolve the text on Diamondback. I think we have a small chance. We have to find the Jackpot. I'm going to shuffle this a bunch. But I think if Diamondback, mind you, Diamondback does an AoE attack. So when Diamondback does, you can exhaust Diamondback, but you can discard the top card of your deck and deal 1 damage to each enemy for each resource icon discarded that way. So if we find a 3 resource icon, which is the one Jackpot in this whole deck, that actually can defeat Topaz, which gives us a slightly higher margin of error in terms of like what it's going to cost us to get out of here. So again, I'm just going to keep doing this. I'll just cut. But if we hit the one in many to hit the, what's it called? The jackpot, we're good. So we'll strength for Diamondback. And we'll exhaust Diamondback, dealing a damage. It says deal 1 damage to each enemy for each resource icon discarded this way. Are you ready? It's a good workout. That's still 2 damage to everything. So it's not an attack, so it beats guard. That's still like a pretty okay way to deal with the board. And we'll discard Luck by a Lady to get rid of this drawing near. All right, so we probably still lose here, so don't get too excited, but there's a chance we don't. Next card, we draw to 6, lock and loaded. A Psylocke, that's good, confuse, energy, digging deep, a lucky and good, and a sharpshooter. Okay, so we have to survive this, which I don't think is very, very likely. So this goes to 2. Kang is going to activate, or it's going to scheme. That's going to be for 1 in a card plus an amplify. 2 boost icons, so we're cooked. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this goes to 6, and then Topaz, the Macrobots, takes it to 8. So we do scheme out there. We just had to get a big boost there, but no matter what, we're still going to lose because it was a double. We just need to hit a no boost icon, and I don't think a lot of these cards have no boosts, so it's very unlikely. Macrobots has no boost. The standard ones, some of them have no boosts, but not very likely. Ancient Warrior has no boost. So not good odds, but we had a small chance that we could get out there. But yeah, just getting all those obligations at the launch was obviously a huge issue. And again, with the deck being so big, like obviously it's so terrible to get drawing nearer because it like really fast advances your nemesis. And not getting that would have helped a lot because it blanked a bunch of our cards or it made us take damage. I think actually depowered was even worse. I think we have to watch out for that. All right, we'll give it another shot. We're mostly already set up, so we can just rewind a bit, but we had a really awkward turn where we just drew like a dysfunctional hand, and that really did catch us off guard. All right, so that's that. That should be that. We can just shuffle this up and try again. It's cool though. These scenarios where like you have to flip down and deal with obligations are like inherently pretty punishing when you're playing solo, specifically when you don't have a lot of confuse in your kit. It's the same thing where like, you know, getting Enchantress when you're playing solo, and Enchantress says you can't attack. Or you can't, technically not Enchantress, but one Enchantress card says like you can't attack unless you go to Alter Ego and Exhaust. And if you're not playing Confused and you're playing in solo, that's just like such a problem. But when you're playing a multiplayer, again, you can just always jump down to Alter Ego, just have your teammate in hero mode and you won't get absolutely goofed up. All right, let's roll it back. It's 149. Oh shit, do we have time for another one? We might not actually have time for another one. Yeah, I think we can. We'll just go fast. If we lose, we lose. I hate leaving on a loss, but we can do this. All right, so we get an encounter card. We have to play a bit faster. This starts with nothing. Kang starts with toughness and what is it? 18 health, 15 health. Villains at 15. We start on 9. We are not stunned. Let me just shuffle up and we'll go. What's the easiest and most fun character to teach the game with? I like Spider-Man a lot from the core set. If you're talking about just core set, I think, actually, no, I think Captain Marvel is usually the most interesting and most fun. She's very powerful. She has good teamwork built in. She has good resource economy. She has like cool cards that pay off if you invest in them and then you do a big burst, which I think a lot of players enjoy that playstyle. I think a lot of people like playing Iron Man too, because Iron Man, a lot of people understand who that hero is. And it actually has the exact same playstyle where you start pretty weak, but then you build your suit. And the more you build your suit and your techs, you get more and more powerful. The issue is like on turn 1, you feel pretty bad. So it's like not a good solo. But if you're playing multiplayer, I do think somebody playing Iron Man who wants to have that fantasy of building a suit is like really, really good and really satisfying. Not just core in general. I think those two are good. I do think a lot of the like core set ones are the simpler ones to teach, so that's quite nice. And they got a bit more like Domino is not a great. The thing is like you also have to know who you're teaching. Like if I give Black Panther to like a player who's been playing, you know, hundreds of hours of Netrunner and is like good at complicated card games, they'll be like, this game is boring. But if you give them Domino, where like top of the deck manipulation and you have to plan your turn to the action, like every specific action really interacts with every other action. I think if you want to teach someone who's like more into more complicated card games, like I would do some of the more complicated heroes. Like I like Nightcrawler a lot. I like Iceman. I like Domino. Magic is really fun for that reason. Any of the triple flip heroes. So like Ant-Man is really cool. I'm not gonna be able to give a good answer because I actually have to look at all the heroes. I'm very bad at remembering all the heroes without looking at a list. Hey, Andir, how's it going? It's going okay. We got through Kang so easy on standard, and then we jumped it up to expert. We just got like really, really cornered. We're gonna try it another time. How you doing? How's your Friday? Diamondback, Richter, Deft Focus will keep. Digging Deep we can keep to top deck a Lucky Break, Weapon X. I'm going to keep Weapon X to try it because I think it's a pretty good card. We'll keep Deft Focus and we'll keep Digging Deep to put on top of the deck, but we're not going to keep any of these cards. Best card that we could draw, I think, is our Probability Field. Okay, Energy. Okay, stop. Psylocke is actually really good. We really like having Confuse. Oh, and when we discard these into the discard pile, we have to choose the order. I think that's a fine order. I want that the sound bit of Andre saying magic is fun. The magic cards say the word magic card on them everywhere. It's like, take a magic card and put on top of your deck. And it's just like kind of goofy to read that out. Appreciate the answer. Of course, Brennan. I don't know how your teaching has been going. Okay, ugly hand. I'm going to use Digging Deep to play. No. What card do we play Weapon X with? This plays Psylocke. Maybe we don't play Weapon X. I don't think we play Weapon X. Weapon X is a really interesting card. And this is a nice play to play it. You take a damage and discard cards until you get an identity-specific card. And the thing is, if we hit any of our discard synergies, they fire, which is kind of nice. The issue is I want to get the Digging Deep to put on top of our deck. So I think we might play it. We just won't activate it. So sorry, we're in Nina mode. And in Nina mode, we won't do anything. Then we'll jump to our mode. Hold on, actually. Maybe the Digging Deep is useless because we have no discard synergy. Yeah, so I think we can actually play it. So we'll pitch the Digging Deep for Weapon X. We'll activate the Weapon X alter ego. So we'll take a damage and discard cards from the top of the deck until we hit an identity-specific card. This is why we nailed it. When you hit Digging Deep, you draw it. So we got really lucky there. That's not a hero response. It's anywhere. Chase them down. We discard Domino's Pistol in our hand. Nice. Okay, pretty good. The issue is that this is the top card of the deck now. So if we want to grab it with Nina's ability, we can. Or top card of the discard pile, but I'd rather grab the Digging Deep, I think. Okay, we'll flip to Domino. Here, I don't think we have anything that discards the top of the deck too easily. Actually, we do. But I don't think we're going to play it. So we're going to play 4 for Psylocke. This is a really good turn for Psylocke. Psylocke comes in. Sorry, I'm playing a bit faster now. 3 health and 2 psionic counters, which those don't have any ruled stacks. Those are just flavorful counters. And then we're going to attack with Psylocke. And when Psylocke attacks, you can choose to remove a psionic counter. And that says, when Psylocke attacks, remove a psionic counter to confuse the enemy and deal 1 damage. So 1 damage takes the toughness off, and then Psylocke's normal damage does 1 damage to the villain. That leaves us on Confused, which is good. Then here, I think we're just going to use Digging Deep to play Deft Focus, which is a good setup card. And then we're going to hold on to our gun. We'll just attack for 2 damage. Villain is down to 12. We'll pass. Drawing up, we're going to keep our pistol. Good workout. Right place, right time for some thwarting. Superpower training, we can go get our probability field. And there's our probability field, so never mind. This goes to 1. Kang can either put a threat here and attack for 3 or attack for 5. I think we're going to go for 3. Why? Wait, wouldn't Digging Deep eat the Weapon X trigger? No, because Weapon X waits until you find a identity-specific card. It's not the first card. Weapon X is discards until you find, again, a magic card. Sorry, not a magic card, a domino card. Excited to catch the stream. Hey, welcome. So, okay, I think we're going to do for Brina card. I think we can block here. I think our activation is not particularly good. So we'll block against 3. 1 boost icon, you are stunned. Okay. So pistols deal with that cheaply, but we take no damage. 2 encounter cards. First one is Evil Alliance. That's not a good start. So we just place 3 counters on Pursued by the Past. Again, once this hits 4, we have to get our Nemesis. I do like standard 3. Past Machinations. Insight 1, so that puts 1 threat on the main scheme. When revealed, each player searches the counter deck and discard pile for a different obligation and reveals its shuffled and counter deck. Oh, so we have a choice here. We can jump down and get rid of the obligation, no problem. But we can pick an obligation. Oh, I guess this is why you remove your obligations as well. So when attached character would ready, discard this card instead. That's not an obligation. So we need to find an obligation. It's definitely not drawing nearer. It's never drawing nearer. So what obligations do we have here? Place the top 8 cards underneath you. That's fine. You cannot play hero-specific cards. Don't like that one. Discard the highest cost card that eats Psylocke. Don't love that either. I think we'll just do Stolen Memories. Digging Deep isn't ID specific? I feel like I've never played Domino. Yeah, Digging Deep is a neutral card. It's a basic card. And there's actually a whole bunch of different decks I want to play it, as much as Domino is definitely one of the easiest ones to play it. All right, we'll reveal Stolen Memories. When we reveal this, place the top 8 cards of your deck face down underneath it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if we get rid of this by playing a mental or discarding a mental, not paying a mental, we can get rid of it. So I do think we want to flip down, which shouldn't be a problem here. So we don't need to use Psylocke here. I think we're going to do a good workout. Is there something we want to put on top of the deck? I don't think so. Sorry, we'll do a right place, right time. So no, it doesn't matter. So we'll just do Deft Focus and we'll play right place, right time. It's a superpower. So this removes 3 threat, and we have to discard the top card of our deck to remove additional threat. This removes 5 threat, but that doesn't really matter. So now we want to keep, we want to keep a mental resource. Did we have one? No, we didn't even have one. So we can't get rid of Stolen Memories, but that's not a big deal. So here we probably, wow, all these cards are super high value. I think we'll try and find something with Weapon X. So we'll flip down and use Weapon X. We'll take a damage and discard cards until we hit a card for Domino. We hit Jackpot. That's really good. That's really, really good, because Nina's text allows us to play Jackpot twice, which is sick. So we can use Jackpot here to play Probability Field. We don't have to use the text on Jackpot, mind you, to shuffle it back into our deck. It's an optional response. So while we discard it with Weapon X, we can add it to our hand. And then we can use Nina's ability to trade a card with our discard pile. And so then we'll play Jackpot again, which is still on top of our deck, so we can grab it later, and then we'll play Domino's Pistol. Very, very powerful interaction if you can get that. Because again, Nina's ability says that you can choose a card in your hand and swap it with the top card of your discard pile. And now that's going to be an option next turn because, well, we have no hand. We'll just pass. Drawing up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, drawing White Fox. We can top deck White Fox and set her up. This goes to 1. Kang is confused. We draw an encounter card. It is an Ancient Warrior. That thing has Quick Strike. But we are in Alter Ego, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, we're going to speed run this a bit. I'm a bit behind on schedule. Okay, we do have a mental in hand. I think we're going to first trade 1, chase them down with the top of our deck to get Jackpot. And then I think we're just going to discard this, chase them down to get rid of Stolen Memories. We now get rid of these 8 cards. They go into our discard pile and our choice of order. I don't think we care about the choice of order because we've already used Nina's ability. So those just go onto the top. Okay, do we Weapon X? Honestly, I don't know how many hero cards we have left. I'm just going to check because it's faster. We have lots. So yeah, we are going to Weapon X here. So this is the first game we got Weapon X down. Seems really good in this deck. So we take a damage. So we're on 6 and we discard until we hit a hero specific card. We get Pip the Pug. Pip is also useful. We might play Pip here. Pip allows us to put a Domino posse card on our discard pile on top of our deck, which is super useful. And I think we will do that. So we're going to pitch White Fox to play Pip the Pug. Cool thing about White Fox is it's a posse card. So we'll exhaust Pip the Pug to put this on top of our deck. Then we'll flip up with Nina. We could recover for 3. I think recovering for 3 is actually kind of fine here. We don't have much else to do. Oh, we could attack for damage, but that's fine. So then we have a Jackpot. I think Jackpot, we can just play Outlaw. So we'll pitch Jackpot for Outlaw. We could put that on top of our deck as well. Outlaw can do a lot of damage, attacks, and gets extra icons, but here we'll probably just wait for the toughness. Psylocke wants to do an attack. We'll use, I thought we had another pistol. We don't. That's fine. We'll use Domino's Pistol. So we exhaust Domino's Pistol to discard the top card of the deck. It eats the stun, but we do get a free White Fox. When she's discarded, she comes into play. We are building our posse. Now we are exhausted because we recovered. We need to get rid of the Ancient Warrior. We probably do. So I think we're just going to use Deft Focus and play a good workout. That deals 4 damage. We discard the top card of the deck. That does 6 damage. The Ancient Warrior is defeated. And then here, we are going to deck out. So I want to get Psylocke back into the deck. So Psylocke's going to attack for 2 damage. Villain's down to 10. Psylocke is not defeated. Oh yeah, not defeated, which is a bummer. Well, we can block, I guess. And that is going to do a Confuse to King. Oh, that's it. I think we're going to attack. We'll just thwart for 1 with White Fox and pass. Okay, much better setup than the last turn or the last game. We lost 8 cards mid setup. We're going to be drawing these 4, which is Lock and Load, Luck Be a Lady, our last pistol, and Prof X. We have to take an encounter card. We'll shuffle this up. Notice how my board state is getting messier as I play faster and faster. Yeah, I need to speed run this. We have to finish this in like the next 20 minutes, which seems a bit optimistic. Apologies for that. We draw Power of Aggression, which doesn't line up too well. All right, this goes to 1. We're going to let Kang attack for 5 and a card. We'll block with Outlaw. So that's going to be 7 damage. Just takes the toughness off. Our 2 encounter cards. First is Depowered. Ooh, this one really sucks. I'm glad that we have a Confused, because this one just says we can't play our cards. We have to get rid of a hero-specific card. This card's really, really mean. Time Travel Hijinks. Okay, so another card. This is going to actually take Psylocke away. So it says discard the highest cost card you control. That is going to be Psylocke. And then we can get it back as an obligation. We don't get it back. We discard it, but that's totally fine. All right. 10 damage. Not too bad. We have no side schemes. We definitely want to flip down and deal with these. So discard a hero specific card. We can get rid of Luck Be a Lady. That's no problem. I do think we just want to start attacking and doing a whole bunch of damage. So Outlaw's exhausted because she defended. So we'll just start hitting. So we're going to attack for 2. Probability field. Are we going to flip a card at the top of our deck? No, we're not. It's going to be 3 damage. We'll shoot. 2 damage. Hey, love. Yeah, I'm speedrunning the end of this. Yeah, Maddie's like, we got to let go. I'm like, yeah, we'll figure this out. All right, so we're down to 5 damage. Going fast. We don't have an energy icon for this, and this says discard a card, not pay for a card, so I don't think wild icons will work. If that's the case, I think we'll just pitch 2 for another gun and shoot. Hopefully we can get a resource, so we'll shoot again. That is 2 damage. Okay. I want to play Sesame Street Champions. This means we can get rid of Depowered. Oh, wait, we can't play this because you cannot play our hero-specific cards. Hold on, rewind. That's a hard rewind. We'll have to shuffle. So Villain, restore 2. So this is back in our hand. 2, 4. We'll just shuffle this really quickly. Too fast. So we're on 5. Okay, I think we just have to flip down here. White Fox will thwart for 1, taking 1 damage. Bummer. I think here we'll just use Domino's ability to hopefully grab a random energy card just to get rid of this. So we can play Locked and Loaded. We don't need to, so I'll just flip Lock and Loaded with the top of the deck. It is an energy. Wait, I shuffled that. The heck? I did shuffle that. We'll flip down. Nina can also grab this, which we don't care. We'll get rid of an energy card to discard Time Travel Hijinks. This card is now discarded on top. We'll discard an identity-specific card. It'll be Luck Be a Lady. We'll get rid of Depowered. We're left with this hand. I think we'll just pitch this to play a gun, which we can't use. Pass the turn. No reason to Weapon X. Will we pip the pug? I don't think we need to. We'll defeat White Fox from Consequential and then put her back on top of the deck. Draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sharpshooter's good. 5. We're set up to do a lot of damage. That's a good hand. This goes to 1. Kang is confused. Encounter card is Dark Designs. This goes to 4. We're good to get that because we're going to get our Nemesis in Alter Ego, which is the perfect time because Topaz, when it comes into play, attaches this thing to us and we can get rid of that immediately. Not My Lucky Day comes in. We'll just put 1 damage on us. Otherwise, it gets 2 more threat. It has an amplify icon, so we'll take 1. And then we'll shuffle these 2 cards into the deck, which is relatively inconsequential. This deck is absolutely massive. This is cleaned up. Speedrun. In theory, now every turn we can do like 6 or 7 damage, so we're just going to send it all the time. The problem is I'm going to make rules mistakes because I'm going fast. Super power feedback. Okay, we need to get rid of this. Discard an identity-specific card from our hand. We will. Our only option here is right place, right time. We could just Weapon X. I think we're just going to Weapon X, take a damage, and discard until we get a super one of our cards. So we get Lucky and Good. Fine. Oh, that means we take a damage, though. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take a damage. Can't retcon that. And then we'll discard this to discard that. Okay, White Fox. We'll thwart 1 off of this. Then she's defeated. Pip the Pug will put her on top of the deck. Here we're going to play Sharpshooter. Again, vibes. We're playing on vibes, just vibes. We can swap a card with our hand with the top of the deck. So we'll swap Superpower Training for Genius using Nina's ability. Then we will flip up. We could recover. Should we recover? No, we need to do damage. We'll flip up. We'll Sharpshooter, discarding 2 cards. So that's going to be 1 damage into Topaz plus 2 damage into Topaz. We get White Fox into play. That drops Topaz down to 1. Now we can do no quarter. So that does 4 damage. Oh, we have to play with a physical card. That's fine. We can do that. So we'll do 1, 2, playing no quarter. It does 4 damage. And for extra, all excess damage, we discard cards from the top of the deck until we find and we draw every single aggression card. So 1, nope. 2, yep. 3, yep. Okay, cool. Here we can do damage with gold balls. We can threat a bit. I think we have to thwart a bit ourselves. White Fox. I don't think we care about the amplify that much. So we'll do 1, 2, 3 for gold balls. Comes into play. When gold balls attacks, discard up to 3 cards, gets plus X attack. So we're on 5 health. We need to clear the side schemes before we advance. So I think we're just going to do Domino for 1, and then we're going to discard a card to go +1. It's a Digging Deep. It's added to our hand, so we clear this. So then all we have to do is enough damage to Kang, which shouldn't be that bad. That means we're going to just start by attacking with gold balls. I think we can just do Domino's Pistol first. Discard 2 cards. So that does 3 damage. And then we can attack with... F it, Outlaw. We'll discard the top card of the deck to do additional damage. So that... What is that in our deck? Where did that come from? Why is that in our deck? Was that in our deck? Did I grab the wrong deck? So that's 1, 2 damage. That's enough. So Kang is defeated. When Kang is defeated at the end of the phase, we'll advance to the next thing. So now we're just chilling. We'll just chill. We'll hold on to Digging Deep. It's fine. We are going to just throw damage very quickly. We drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. End of the phase. We have a jackpot. We have to advance to Kang 2. Kang 2 says, when revealed, place 1 acceleration token here for each side scheme. We fix that. Each player reveals a random stage 3. Remove any unused side schemes from the game. This just comes into play. So it's going to be either one of these. 1, 2, 5, 6. It's 1, 2. It's the present future war. Great. That is revealed. Sorry, we're not going to be revealing all the card text. Go, 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 go. Andre, you got to finish this. Present future war. Create your own game and add Kang Scarlet Centurion to the game area. I think this is one of the ancient ones. Whoa, it comes in with 2 threat, 1 per turn. This has the same force response. After the stage is completed, bad things happen if you don't complete it. But if we complete it, it's not the worst. We add Kang Centurion. This is Kang Scarlet Centurion. On expert, comes in with 22 health. Ooh, villain set health 22, toughness. This one says the villain's attacking is piercing. We only slightly care about that. And when defeated, attacks for 4 in a card. Oh my god. Okay. That's it. This goes up to 3. Kang is attacking for 4 in a card with piercing. I guess we're just going to have to chump block that with White Fox, I guess. That's a lot of damage. So 4 in a card, 5, 6. That is a massive amount of damage. I imagine we just want to stay on Alter Ego. That's fine. Counter card. Time travel tactics. Surge, when revealed, each player takes 1 indirect damage for each obligation. We're good. Next up, Centauri Soldier. That's nice. Or Chitari. We haven't drawn these yet. Force interrupt. When Chitari Soldier attacks you, discard the top card in the counter deck. Take indirect damage equal to number of boost icons. 3 health. Not a big deal. Okay. So we need to deal with the toughness. We need to deal with the soldier. We have a lot of damage. We should go. We can get through this. So if that's the case, we're going to... I think we're going to attack with Domino, just straight up. Probability field to discard. That's going to add it to our hand. 4 damage, the soldier is defeated. When the soldier is defeated, we can go play Chase Them Down to remove 2 threat from here. Then we're just going to do as little damage as we can to our hero here. I think we'd actually rather play Richter. Yeah, we'll play Richter. So 1, 2, 3 for Richter. Richter aggression comes in with 3 health. After Richter attacks, discard the top card of your deck. Deal 1 damage for each minion. That's fine. We could have ordered that slightly optimally, but we're speedrunning at this point. So we need to take the toughness off. I think we're just going to have to waste the pistol. We're only going to discard 1 card. That does 2 damage into the toughness. Then we'll discard a pistol. But first, actually, we're going to use our ability to swap this. And we're going to do a big jackpot turn. So we're going to do Domino's Pistol and Sharpshooter. So we're discarding 2 cards. That's 3. 5 damage. We'll shuffle this back in. So that's 5 damage to Kang. Speedrun, 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 speedrun. 3 cards there. Villain down 5. Then we're going to attack with Outlaw for 1 damage plus a discard. That's 3 damage. We're going to attack with Gold Balls. Actually, we'll attack with Richter next. Taking 2 damage. So that's going to be 2 damage plus 3 damage. Oh, that's to each minion. Okay, so that we heal 1. Okay, we're on 11. Gold Balls, we can discard 2 cards. It's a 50-50. I think we have to do that. So we'll attack with Gold Balls and we'll discard 2 cards. So when Gold Ball attacks, discard up to 3 cards. We'll discard 2 cards. So we discard Digging Deep and Jackpot. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Nice. Now Digging Deep we can add to our hand. Jackpot will shuffle into the deck. The deck decks out. We get an encounter card. We are flying. Six health. So we just have to do 6 damage, and then I think we can win in 2 turns. Cards in hand, kind of useless. We'll just play the Painted Lady, and we'll hold on to that, and we'll pass. We'll hold on to Digging Deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This goes to 2. Kang is attacking for 4 and a card. I think we'll just go block with the Outlaw. This says you are stunned. Okay. It's going to cost us a bit of damage. Outlaw is defeated. 2 encounter cards. First is attached to Kang, Temporal Shield. Oh no, we want to do damage. Temporal Shield says attached to Kang. When Kang is attacked, discard the shield, prevent all damage from the attack, and deal 1 damage to the attacker. That's not that bad. We'll be able to eat through that. And we have another Qatari Soldier, which also we should be able to deal with Richter. Chitauri Soldier. 3 health. Okay, it's us. Well, Domino's Pistol to discard a card. It is 2 damage, but the stun goes through. This says when Kang is attacked, discard Temporal, prevent all damage. So we want to attack with our smallest amount of damage, which I think in this case will be just attack with Gold Balls for 1. That will defeat Gold Balls. That's bad. So I guess we just... attack with Richter. So Richter attacks for 2. This is when Kang is attacked. When Kang is attacked, discard Temporal Shield, prevent all damage from the attack, and deal 1 damage to the attacker. So Richter is actually defeated before his text goes off. We're not going to do Richter's text, but that gets rid of this. Prevent all damage. Okay, that's fine. We have the soldier here. So we're going to shoot the soldier with a pistol. We're going to first flip the top of the deck with this. Oh, it's a jackpot. No. So then we're going to shoot, discarding Digging Deep and White's Fox. That's amazing. That does 3 damage, defeats the soldier. White Fox is in play with 3 health. I think we're just going to rip Gold Balls for maximum damage. So Gold Balls will attack for 1, plus we'll discard 3 cards. X plus attacks where X is the number of cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So not the number, not the icons, the number of cards. So I might have miscounted that earlier. So that does 4 damage. We're on 2. We can attack for 2. I think we do. I think we definitely attack for 2. So we'll just attack for 2. We won't use our probability field. Kang is defeated. At the end of the phase, we go into the next thing, right? We remove the present future from the game at the end of the phase. Okay, so we just have to wait till the end of the phase. So now we should just set up. Unfortunately, we don't have that much setup. We'll deal with a lucky break. We will... That's fine. I think we just keep this hand and throw this all out. Go. Almost there. We'll drop to 1, 2, 3. Nice. 4, 5. And then at the end of the phase, we go to the final Kang, which is Kang's Wrath. Reveal Kang 3, add him to the game, reveal each face down Kang's Dominion. We have none of those. This is Kang's Wrath 10. When revealed, each player searches the counter deck and discard pile for your nemesis, okay? And put into play. So we don't reveal our nemesis, we just put into play. So we just have Topaz in front of us. So she's only going to attack for 2. We get the final Kang. It's this Kang. Expert Kang. Has toughness, 25 health. Villain set 25, toughness. This is Kang the Conqueror 3. And I think the text mirrors the first one. Toughness, when Kang attacks you, either place 1 threat or get +2 attack. Fantastic. When defeated, the players win the game. So that's all we have to do. 25 damage plus a toughness. All right, so this gets 1 threat. I don't think we were meant to get an encounter card at any point, right? Usually that happens. Nope. Kang is attacking for 5 and a card. I think we'll block with... Gold Balls can do 4 damage. I think we'll just block with White Fox. So that's for 5 and a card. 6, 7. White Fox is defeated. Totally fine. Topaz will attack for 2. We'll just take it. We're down to 4. We have to be a bit careful. 1 encounter card. It's under fire. Surge. Reveal the top card in the counter deck. So we just reveal 2 other cards. First card. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh, come on. No. Has toughness and 6 health. Doesn't have guard. It attacks like a truck, though. So we might actually jump down to Alter Ego at some point. And then Energy Blast. When revealed, Kang attacks you. So now we're attacking for 3 and a card or 5 and a card. Here we could defend with Gold Balls. Our hand is actually kind of gross. Our hand is not good. Okay, we have to slow down and think here. because rushing is now a bit harder. I think we just defeat Topaz, flip down. We have no access to Confuse, which is a problem. We definitely could use Confuse here, but that's kind of scary. 10 is a big limit. We can defeat Topaz for sure. So if that's the issue, I think we'll just put one threat here. We could cancel this. Let's cancel this and get a different card. I don't get attacked. So instead, we'll reveal this card. Corrupted Time Streams. Players cannot trigger alter ego action abilities on obligations. That's fine. When revealed, each player must discard one random card from hand or place 2 threat here. One random card? That seems fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so it's back to us. Yeah, okay, so it's back to us. So we can't do alter ego actions on obligations, which can be a bit annoying. I think we just flip down and do some threat work. We can put this on top of the deck to do a big attack. I think we first need to knock the toughness off. We definitely want to deal with Topaz, and we can do that guaranteed with the jackpot. So we're going to use Domino to swap the jackpot with the top of the deck. It's a no quarter. That's actually kind of interesting too. Maybe we'll use it on the Tyrannosaurus. We'll attack with a gun, discarding only 1 card. That will do 3 damage, and we'll shuffle the jackpot back in. Topaz is dead. I think we'll just stand and fight. I don't think we'll flip down. How do you confuse someone from 1,000 years ago in the future from that kids are really into Minecraft? We're sorry. Okay. We have the Tyrannosaur to deal with. I think we want to do a bit of chip damage. We'll attack with a pistol. We won't discard 2 cards. It'll just do 2 damage, take the toughness off. Now we want to do a lot of damage. So we'll attack with gold balls and we'll rip 3 cards. So 1, 2, that'll be shuffled back. 3, 4 damage, drops it down to 2. We'll shuffle the jackpot back in. And gold balls is defeated. Okay, do we have a physical icon? Excuse me. Do we have a physical icon to play this thing? Yeah, we do. So I think we have to now do no quarter. So this does 4 damage. And for extra excess damage we do, of which we're doing 2, we discard the top 2 cards of our deck. If they're aggression cards, we add them to our hand. We discard Lucky Bee Lady and a Power of Aggression. We'll take 1. Okay, cleared the board. Kang is still tough. We are still ready. Here we can chase them down to clear 2 from Kang's Wrath. So we could flip down if we wanted to. And then we just have this, which we can play Death Focus, Powers, remove 3 threat from this, discard a card, we remove all of it. That's clean. So now we're just on 4 health. We could flip down. This will go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think we're comfortable flipping down. I think we'll flip down. Here, we can put something on top of our deck with Pip the Pug, which is fine. I think we can keep that for later. I'm just going to recover for 3, discarding a card. So we recover for 4. Okay, pass. Can we do 25 damage in a single turn? I think there's a chance we can, depending on how thin our deck is. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because here we can have like a really big jackpot turn, because we can get jackpot on top of our deck, let alone it's in our hand. So this goes to 1. Kang is going to scheme for 3 in a card. It goes to 4. Kang is scheming for 3 icons. Shit. This goes to 7. Okay. 1 card, not a Dark Designs. It's an Ancient Warrior. It has Quick Strike, doesn't do anything, has 2 health, doesn't have guard. Okay. Little minion. Here we have to plan this perfectly, and I think we might be able to do 25 damage in a single turn. Let's figure this out. It's 220. We have lots of time to work with. So things we can do. We can get jackpot on top of our deck, which we need to do for sure. We can also get another card on top of our deck with Pip the Pug. So Pip the Pug says that we can go grab a Posse card and we can put that on top of our deck. So that means we can make sure that we get a copy of White Fox on top of the deck. That seems useful. We could also like play jackpot and then, yeah, I think we do that. I think we play jackpot for Prof X. When Prof X comes into play, we'll just confuse Kang because we need to do some thwarting. And then we'll use Nina's ability to swap a card from our hand with the top card of our deck. So we'll swap Boot Camp, which has been bad, and for Jackpot. Okay, then we'll use Pip the Pug's ability. We haven't been using Painted Lady at all to put a Posse card or one of our cards on top of our deck. I think we're just gonna put the White Fox on top. And then here on 8 health, we're feeling pretty comfortable. We will flip up. On this side, we still need to take the toughness off. So I guess we do 1 shot. We'll just shoot with Domino's Pistol, which puts White Fox into play. That will take... Wait, where's our jackpot? Okay, that's good. So it takes the toughness off. We'll use Prof X to take 3 off of this, down to 4. Okay, cool. And now we have to start blasting. We'll use Domino's ability to swap the top card of our deck with Jackpot. Nice. And then we'll shoot. We'll discard only one card. Oh, because we only have 2 cards. So we need to discard 1 card here. So Domino's Pistol will discard. And we'll hit a Jackpot that does 3 damage to King. And we'll shuffle it back in. So now this becomes a 50-50. Okay. We're exhausted. Why are we exhausted? We shouldn't be exhausted. We haven't done anything. Then we'll attack using probability field. So we're 2, found it, 3, 4, 5. So we also have to do this. It's hard to shuffle 2 cards without like trying to keep track of it. I'm not going to. So I'm just going to put whatever on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Good. We have a good workout, which also can do a lot of damage. So we'll play a good workout. Deal 4 damage. So that's 4 damage plus. Nailed it. Okay, that's 7 damage. So villain is down to 10. This will get shuffled back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. We're going to tank the Ancient Warrior for sure. I guess we might as well just play this for free. It allows us to cancel a boost card if we need to. White Fox will attack for 1. So villain goes down 1, and that's all she wrote. We'll hold on to the Digging Deep, I guess, and we have a bunch of free blockers here. We can do 9 damage next turn, no problem. We're going to draw a couple encounter cards, though. 1, 2, 3. So a Dark Designs will... Oh, actually, it's not going to be the worst because we have a Confuse. God, Domino slaps. Just speed Domino gaming. Sharpshooter is really, really fun too. The problem is that we were decked out. So if we end up decking out, we shuffle now Jackpot into like a lot of cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Weird hand. This goes up to 5. We're going to give Kang +2 attack. So Kang is attacking for 5. We'll block with Prof X. That's 6, 7. Prof X is defeated. Ancient Warrior attacks for 2. We'll take it. Then we draw 2 encounter cards. Go, 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 go. Pinned down. Totally fine. Just has 2 threat on it and a Crisis. We don't care. Next card. Macrobots. Ooh, this has guard. Okay, that sucks. It's going to slow us down slightly, but it has guard and retaliate. We'll have to deal with that in a second. And now it's back to us. So we have a Jackpot we can put on top of our deck. We need to deal with the Macrobots. I think we would love to no quarter the Macrobots. So I think we're going to shoot with Domino's Pistol into the Macrobots, and we're going to shoot with Sharpshooter. So we're going to discard 2 cards. So that's doing 1, 2, 3 damage. That's perfect. So this goes down to 1. Then we're going to play No Quarter, which does 4 damage to the Macrobots. We take Retaliate 1. Oh no, this has ranged. And so we did 3 overkill damage. Sorry, I'm not showing all the cards, which means we discard 3 cards. And for every red card, we add it to our hand. Pretty okay. All right, we definitely have it here. We're going to swap the top of our deck with Jackpot. Nice. We're going to Pistol, discarding 2 cards. So that's 3, 4 damage. This gets shuffled back in. So villain takes 4 on 5. Do we have it? Yeah, I think we have enough. We have another No Quarter in hand, I'm pretty sure. Let alone we have allies. Will White Fox attack for 1? We're going to attack for 2, flipping a card off the top of the deck. That's 3 damage. That's a 1 health left, and we'll just go ahead and drop down gold balls. Gold balls will attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've defeated Kang on Expert. Sorry we had to speedrun that at the end, but time is getting close. That is no shot. Kang is super dead. Domino is really fun, and Domino just absolutely rips along, where once you get set up, like just, this is so much damage. Domino's Pistol Sharpshooter, turn after turn after turn after turn after turn after turn, which is pretty wild. Obviously, like setting up the top and getting the Jackpot, especially when your deck is thin, is like the most fun you can do, but Kang is actually pretty cool. I don't mind Kang as a solo experience. I thought that was actually cooler than I imagined it would be. Congrats. Thank you. I'm out of breath. And on that note, we have to close the stream because I have to go get ready and pack and stuff. Just so y'all know, we will be back next Friday, assumedly. I've recorded a couple of videos. I'm playing through a campaign of Sinister Motives. I'm playing Protection Magic, which is another similar Top Deck Matters deck, and it's been a lot of fun. We'll get videos of that up on the channel, hopefully in the next week. Maybe on Wednesday would be nice, but I'm not sure when we're getting back from a trip. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching. That's what's coming up next. If you want to leave a like on the video, it helps a heck of a lot. If you want to share this to other friends that you might know that care about Marvel Champions, I'm not doing a great job advertising this channel. I think that's a nice way to let it grow. But with that, thanks so much for hanging out on Friday. Hopefully you have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Ciao. Where's my mouth? It must be somewhere. Bye now.